Hey guys, welcome back to the Juice Reacts channel, and I just wanted to come on here really quickly and do a small intro for the massive video you're about to watch. This is all three of my separate deep dive videos compiled together in one ginormous, massive movie so that you don't have to worry about clicking on each separate video if you want to watch it all or if you want to skip through some things. It makes it a little bit more compact and just easier to enjoy. Instead of just watching three separate videos, you get to watch one gigantic one. So it includes the exact stuff, the exact content from the first deep dive of High School Musical, the second one with High School Musical 2, and then obviously the most recent one, which is High School Musical 3. All three of those videos are just combined together into one massive video, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Let me know down below in the comments if you want to see any other types of deep dives like this, because I really do enjoy this style of video, and I enjoyed basically just talking about movies that I like and I really enjoy, which is the High School Musical trilogy. So, and there's a lot of inconsistencies and funny things to point out. So, hope you guys going to enjoy it. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and yeah, here is my massive deep dive of all three High School Musical movies, all put together.
I'll call you. I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here. Put your number in. There.
You too.
Oh, okay, cool. There you go.
Excuse me, that is not the angle of picture that you took. In what universe is that the angle that you took of Gabrielle? You took a direct on picture of Gabriella, and yet she's looking with at an angle with the side of her head. How does this make sense? What are we doing here? what is this? Same goes for Troy either. Like, the picture that Gabriella took doesn't match what the picture is in her phone of the way that Troy was standing. That's not a good diss, Chad. That's simply not a good diss. She spent her holiday shopping for mirrors. That's not a good diss. That shouldn't have gotten the reaction that it did. It's just simply not that good of a diss. All you remember is pink jelly. What kind of conversation could you have possibly had where you get to the point of only remembering pink jelly? I'm gonna play that back for you guys just so you can get the concept of the idea. Let's just go right back to that. I'll even amp up the audio. Just sink it in. Just let it breathe on what he's talking about here.
Do you remember the night before? No, not at all. All I remember is, like, pink jelly.
Do you remember the night before? Not at all. All I remember is, like, pink jelly. That's exactly word for word what he says. What kind of story? What kind of... You were skiing, Troy. You were on a ski trip. What could you have possibly been talking about? What could have possibly happened to you where you only remember pink jelly? What pink jelly? What? Just straight up pink jello? Is that what you're talking about? Like, you woke up and there was just a pink jello sitting next to you? Like, what are you talking about, Troy? I need to know. I timed this myself to figure out how long this homeroom lasts. It lasts 1:30 exactly. I timed it from bell to bell, 1:30. And the bell rings. From bell to bell, it is 1:30. What kind of homeroom class, even if this is the first homeroom, the first class of the day before, or like after the holiday break, after the New Year's break, and you come back and it's just kind of like getting you back into things, it's still not going to be 1:30. And you know how I know that? Because later on, we find out that the homeroom class is longer than 1:30 because Miss Darbus goes in to talk about Shakespeare. So it's obviously going to last longer than 1:30. So why is it bell to bell 1:30? I need to know these answers. I need to know these questions. Why is it 1:30? It doesn't make any sense. These kids, even if it's homeroom, exactly just that, homeroom should last longer than 1:30. I need to know. Chad being totally against singing and dancing and musicals in general, and then 10 seconds later literally goes and breaks out into song and dance is kind of crazy to me. Like, it's kind of wild, the fact that he's, oh, I'm like, well, that's stupid. You think LeBron and Shaq are trying out for their school musicals? No. And then you go out here and you do, oh, because it's part of a team and you're playing basketball, that makes it okay? No, Chad. It's the same difference. It doesn't make a change. It's all the same. It's all good. Okay? Although I do have a theory that all of this is in Troy's head. None of this actually happens. It's all in Troy's head. Like, he has some sort of accident on the snowboarding trip, the skiing trip, whatever it is, during the winter break, and he's in a coma, and this is all happening in his head. But that's for another video, possibly.
That should be 16 over pi.
Yes, Miss Montez?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just... shouldn't the second equation read 16 over pi?
16 over pi? That's quite impossible. I stand corrected.
You didn't do anything. You simply just tapped on the calculator. You didn't even type any numbers. There's no way you could have figured that out and been corrected with what you did with your fingers. You're not tricking me, math teacher. You're not tricking me. The fact that Sharpay goes to the internet, types in Gabriella's name, and instantly finds things about her is very crazy. Kind of crazy. It's not impossible, because as you can see, she's like a whiz kid that is like in the news, but it's still very, very crazy that all she had, like how few Gabriela Montezes out there in the world that she types in this specific name and she gets the exact person she's looking for. Kind of crazy. Like I said, not impossible, but kind of crazy.
The most heinous example of cell phone abuse is ringing in the theater. What temerity! The theater.
Now I saw rumors. There's gonna be times when I break the fourth wall and talk out of universe, and I'll let you know when that happens. But this is one of those times, and I did see rumors surfacing online that when Troy does that, when he pulls the leaf down on Chad's nose and kind of tickles his nose while he's asleep, I did see that they were kind of like on set. They were kind of bored, so Zac Efron just did that to Corbin while Corbin was like trying to sleep or something in the tree, and he just did that. So that was kind of like unrehearsed, unscripted kind of thing, and they just left it in the movie. Now I don't know if that's true or not. You can never really be too sure with those kind of rumors and stuff, but I choose to believe it's true because it makes it funnier.
What the heck are those two doing in a tree?
Best line in the entire series, without a doubt. Hands down, great delivery, just perfect. Chef's kiss, wonderful. What the heck are those two doing in a tree? Greatest line ever. See, right there. Right there. Right there. She says, today we're going to be discussing the importance of Shakespeare. That's going to take longer than the 30, 40 seconds that they had left in the homeroom period. So why the inconsistencies about the time? Let me know. I need to figure this out.
How's it going, man?
That's an aggressive way to greet somebody. You just go up there and just like grab their hand like that and dap them up. That's aggressive, dude. You need to chill out. How? How do you not see him? Chad. Please let me know how you don't see this man. This man is right behind you. You look this way. He's standing right there. Even with this head movement, with this angle of your head, your peripherals should be, your left eye should be able to see Troy's back and his hair right here. There's no reason for you not to be able to see this man. You even put your head out into the hallway to see him even more. You should be able to notice a man that looks the build of Troy Bolton, looks right there behind you. You don't see him? How is it physically possible? Do you need to go to an eye doctor? We'll get to that in a minute. What is going on here? How do you not see this man? He's not hiding at all. How? From the time it takes Troy to leave, his dad is already at the wall. So how fast is Troy? Is he just some generational super fast guy who runs a 40 time and a 4.1? A 3.9? How fast is this man? How does his dad not turn that corner and instantly see his son running away? Like, there's no possible way that he could have avoided him. You could hear his footsteps. There's no way he could have possibly, from the time that Troy left to run away to the time that his dad is already at that wall and turns around the corner, he should have been able to see his son. And yet he just stares at nothing? Like, what are we doing here? You should have been able to see him and wondering why your son's running away from you. What is this musical even about? There's a camel, there's a moon, there's a tree, there's a ladder. What is this musical about? Oh, chill out, Darbus. Jeez. You get that triggered over a cell phone? My God. Yeah, musicals aren't for you. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. That is a wonderful tie. His tie is wonderful. Not bad. Wouldn't be a lead, I wouldn't think, but she's got potential.
Miss Darbus is a little harsh.
The Wildcat superstar's afraid?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm just scared.
Me too. Hugely.
Hugely? Hugely? Gabriella, ma'am, you said you're one of the smartest kids in this entire school. Well, you may not have said it, but it's implied. And you come up with the word hugely? Is that even a word? I've never heard, in my entire life, I have never heard anybody describe themselves and being, how nervous are they, as hugely. Massively, I can get behind. Tremendously, I can get behind. Hugely? Come on now, we're not in the 3rd grade. 17 school productions. That's a lot. How does that even work? How does the math even math on that? 17. So if she's only like, I don't know, 16 years old or something, maybe 17, because she's a junior. That's gotta be, man, she had to have been doing school productions when she was like in 4th grade or 5th grade. She had to have been starting young. My God.
So, why are you so afraid of Ryan and Sharpay? I mean, it is your show.
It is?
Isn't the composer of a show kind of like the playmaker in basketball?
Playmaker?
You know, the one who makes everyone else look good. I mean, without you, there is no show. You're the playmaker here, Kelsey.
I am?
He's not wrong, but the analogies that he uses, because he only knows basketball apparently, he could have done something a little bit better, a little smoother, but he's not wrong. What is this musical even about? Somebody tell me.
Well, if Troy can tell his secret, then I can tell mine. I bake. What? I love to bake. Strudel, scones, even apple pandowdy. Someday, I hope to make the perfect creme brulee.
Why does it take Troy all of a sudden singing randomly for everybody? The whole school just loses their collective mind, and everybody's just telling their deep, dark secrets. Because if Troy can do it, then so can I. Like, what does that have to do with it? If you want to tell your secret or not tell your secret, you don't have to do it just because some basketball guy is singing. Is it so shocking that the captain of the basketball team would sing in a musical that now, I got to tell my secret because I gotta let everybody know that I'm different, that I'm special? Like, what is happening here? And so Troy would have done this. Nobody would have found out that Zeke bakes. Nobody would not. You don't invite anybody over to your house and at any time tell them, yeah, I dabble in baking. Like, what is happening? Great delivery. Good job. We need to do a deep dive into if there was actual meat or chili or some sort of red meat sauce type of thing in these fries, because at one time they don't look like there's anything in there except for cheese and fries, and then when obviously she's got it on her coat and stuff, there's obviously red meat. And so what's going on here? Is it chili cheese fries or is it just regular cheese fries? I need to know these details. Well, we don't know if it was on purpose. I feel like that's a little bit of an exaggeration. Just because you don't like her doesn't mean she did it on purpose. She clearly slipped on some milk.
What's up? Oh, let's see. You missed a free period workout yesterday to audition for some heinous musical.
Again, Chad, you supposedly hate musicals and hate singing and dancing, and yet every single chance you get, you're singing and dancing. At least be consistent. Yeah, okay. Just skater dudes? Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. I feel like they got a little bit more than that just going on, if you know what I mean. Why does Miss Darbus go through the entire boys' locker room to get to Coach Bolton's office? It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. If you've never been inside a boys' locker before, and since a lot of my audience is kind of female, so why would you have been inside a boys' locker room before? I'll fill you in. Do you know how much teenage dong she could have been exposed to by going that long way? I know for a fact that there is a door right next to Coach Bolton's office to Miss Darbus's right. You take a left outside of the door, outside of Coach Bolton's office. There is a door there. You want to know how I know that? Because Troy uses it later. Troy uses it later on. There is a door. She could have saved all this possibility of seeing exposed teenage boys by going through that door. She didn't have to. She wanted to. That's why she's a creep. That's why she wanted to. She got freaky little fetishes. That's why she went through the whole way. I'm pretty sure that Coach Bolton's sandwich is literally just bread and lettuce. I'm like 99% sure that's what it is. Classic. Oh, that's something I would say too. Keep an eye on the plants behind Troy and Gabriella. Just keep an eye on them. Different plant to the one that was behind him previously. Now they're different plants again. What are we doing here? How did that plant change? It's not even in the same location. What are we doing? Come on. Come on. What? Who changes? There's like a secret. Is there a secret gardening group that just like replaces the plants every single time? Like, what's happening? How does she not see Gabriella in the bathroom? It doesn't make any sense. What does she just like have Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility? How did she hide? She stands at the mirror. She looks in that direction. Did Gabriella just like crouch into a ball? Where did she go? How does Sharpay not see her? It makes no sense. Somebody please inform me on how that happened. What's with the Troy missing practice thing? Like, what's going on? Troy, you mismanaged your time horribly. You managed your time horribly. You could have been at practice, but no, you wanted to go paint sets with Gabriella during practice. You know what time practice is. You knew you weren't going to be able to make it there in time after you were already painting sets. You just managed your time horribly. This is all on you. You're in trouble because of you. You could have easily just said, no, I can't paint sets today. I got to go to actual practice. But no, you wanted to go paint sets because you liked the girl, and she was painting sets and doing stuff. So you had, oh no, I gotta miss practice for this girl. Troy, it's all on you. I can't save you. I try to protect you. I can't save you on this one. Also, what's with the different jerseys? What's with the 2 jersey numbers for Troy and Chad? Like, come on. Like, I don't think any other player wears a second jersey number during practice and for the games. But Troy's got 10 and 14, and Chad's got 15 and 8. Like, what are we doing? Why do those 2 guys have different practice jerseys for practice, or different jerseys for practice in the games, when everybody else, I'm pretty sure, wears the same number for practice and the games? Like, why do they get to be special? Because they're the 2 best players? Is that why they're special? What's going on here?
Wow.
For the timing to make sense on this, for her to be where she's at when we see her, when we see Gabriella in the gym, you can see how far the doors are from where they are, from where she is. For the timing to make sense for that, she would have had to already have left and started going into the gym while practice was still going on. There's no way that she could have gotten from those doors to where she was in the gym, on the other side of the gym, if she got in there when Troy got there. She had to have gotten there like a minute before Troy did. Maybe even longer. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way that Gabriella is that fast where she got there after Troy and was in that same spot to make sense. And Troy didn't see her? How would Troy not have seen her walking in or standing there? So she had to have gotten there super early, and Troy just didn't see it. I don't know. Make it make sense. Man, nice cock block there, Dad. Jeez. Let your son have some game.
That detention was my fault, not hers.
You haven't missed practice in 3 years. That girl shows up.
That girl is named Gabriella. She's very nice.
That's the best you could come up with, Troy? That girl is named Gabriella, and she's very nice. I mean, come on. I'm sure she's great. I'm sure she's super nice. But you couldn't have thought of, and she's like, she's the best or something. You could have used any other word, but you picked, and she's super nice. Oh, Troy, you kill me. Chad's speech is super weird. With the whole ending up on either the cereal box or in his mom's refrigerator. It's very, very weird. I kind of get it. I kind of understand it. But it's very weird. Chad and Taylor have talked maybe a total of one time. The entire time this has been going on. The entire time they came back to school. They maybe talked. They had one little moment in homeroom when Taylor made like a joke that got her in detention for 15 minutes or whatever it was. Other than that, I don't think they've ever talked until this moment right now, which just feels very weird. Like, why would... I know that Chad knows that Taylor's friends with Gabriella, but still, like, why would he just randomly go up to this girl and talk to her that he's never talked to before, ever? And to make a plan like this.
Ryan, we need to save our show from people who don't know the difference between a Tony Award and Tony Hawk.
How would you not know the difference between a Tony Award and Tony Hawk? A Tony Award's a literal piece of metal. It's an award. Tony Hawk's a literal human being. If you don't know the difference between that, you shouldn't be in high school. So you're okay with Charlie's Angels, Chad, but you're not okay with singing and dancing or musicals. But you're okay with Charlie's Angels. Okay, Chad, I get it. I totally understand you.
Win together, lose together, teammates.
But suddenly the girl and the singing.
Man, I'm for the team. I've always been for the team. She's just someone I met.
Troy, you're staring at Chad. How do you not see this camera? You don't see him lift up the laptop and put this camera on? You're staring right at him. What is this eye? How do the eyes at this school not work? Do we need to have what's the eye person, the eye doctor called? An optometrist? I don't know. They need to hire somebody to come and check everybody's eyesight because it does not seem to be working. Chad's eyes aren't good. Sharpay's eyes aren't good. Troy's eyes are... Everybody can't see. How do you not see this camera right here?
All right, the singing thing is nothing. Probably just a way to keep my nerves down. I don't know, it means nothing to me. You're my guys, and this is our team. Gabriella is not important. I'll forget about her. I'll forget the audition, and we'll go out and get that championship.
Man, Troy is cold-blooded. My God. She doesn't matter? She's nothing to me? I'm going to just forget about her and focus on the game? Like, I know he's saying this to get the guys off his back, but my God, if that's how he says it when he thinks he's in private, woo! Jeez, Troy. That is cold-blooded. That's also cold-blooded. The fact that you just broke this girl's heart, and you know you did because you signed up for it. You know what you were doing, Taylor. And then asking her to go get some lunch after she's clearly just been heartbroken by the boy she thought she liked and thought she knew? Crazy.
It's funny when you find yourself looking from the outside. I'm standing here, but all I want is to be over there.
I just want to say, I contend to this very day that the opening words, the very first things that Gabriella says in this song, When There Was Me and You, is not Vanessa Hudgens. This is another one of those breaking the fourth wall ones. It just doesn't, to me, I don't know if it's the audio mixing or what it is, but the very first few words that Gabriella says in When There Was Me and You, and I think it's only in, it might be in the soundtrack version too. It doesn't sound like Vanessa. I don't know what it is. It's got to be like an audio mixing thing because obviously it's Vanessa that sings the song. I know that. But for some reason, the very first couple of words that she says in When There Was Me and You just does not sound like her. I don't know what it is about it. It just doesn't sound like her. I'll play it back for you again.
It's funny when you find yourself looking from the outside. I'm standing here, but all I want is to be over there.
See, and now it goes, and then it goes into obviously sounding a lot like Vanessa. It's weird. I don't understand it. It just doesn't sound like it. It's got a weird, different tone than what Vanessa has. So it's got to be some sort of audio mixing. I get that Troy is like the star of the team. Without Troy, they don't win any games. I get it. I get it. But the fact that Troy's got this huge blown up picture while everybody else is in the background, kind of. I mean, they're doing their action poses. Although I don't know what Chad's doing back there. Like, he says he's not into dancing, and yet he's doing some like jumping dance kind of celebrate. I don't know what he's doing. But everybody's in their action poses, and Troy just gets this huge front and center, massive portion of the poster. I get it. But why does he get to be much bigger? It's about the team, right? That's what we've been hearing the entire time. It's not just one person. It's about the entire team, right? So why does Troy get to be the top? I don't. Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. So everybody gets to go outside during class to go and have this weird like wildcat party out in the front courtyard, and then Gabriella's the only girl left in the whole school, the only person left in the whole school. She has this whole school to sing When There Was Me and You, and then all of a sudden, the moment she gets done, everybody's back in the class. Like, where were they? Did nobody like have to go to their class and walk past Gabriella? That would have been pretty awkward, right? It doesn't seem like she should be the only one that gets to stay in the school, right? Like, what's the special privileges? Why does she get to stay? Just because she's singing a song? No, she got to go out there and celebrate. I know she just got her heart broken. She got to go out there and celebrate with the rest of the team. That's what the school is all about, right? Basketball? That's what we've been hearing. Go out there and celebrate. Come on.
Listen, there's something I want to talk to you about.
And here it is. I know what it's like to carry a load with your friends. I get it. You've got your boys, Troy. It's okay. So we're good.
Good about what? I was going to talk to you about the final callbacks.
I don't want to do the callbacks either.
What was he gonna say? He says he wants to talk to her about the final callbacks. He just told his boys in the locker room that he don't care about her. He just told his boys that she means nothing, and he's going to forget about her when it comes to the championship game, the state title game. So what was he going to tell her? Was he going to tell her a lie? Was he going to lie to her about doing the callbacks, or maybe we can try to push them back or something? Like, what was he going to say? I need to know. Was he going to try to make up some sort of story? Because obviously he doesn't know that she knows what he said. But I want to know I want to know what he was going to say to her. Chad can be a bad friend sometimes. He can be a really bad friend sometimes. He knows what he just did. Unless he's completely oblivious to human emotion other than basketball. He knows that he just made his friend do that and recorded it to show Gabriella. Or live streamed it to show Gabriella. So he knows what he just made Troy go through. And he knows how Gabriella's going to react. So then to go up to him and be like, not even caring about it and just totally focused one mind on basketball when his friend's going through some heartbreak because he doesn't know why Gabriella's mad, even though Chad knows why Gabriella's mad. Like, he can be a bad friend sometimes. Let's just say that. All right, watch this. So Gabriella, this is another breaking the fourth wall moment. Gabriella has her tray in this scene. Boom, gone. Where'd the tray go? Dun, dun, dun. What happened? Where'd the tray go? Did she consume her food like a vacuum? What's happening here? She just like, oh, nom, 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 nom. Like, what are we doing here? Where'd the tray go? Did she's so upset she just tossed it away? Like, what's happening here? Make it make sense, please. I need to know where this tray went. She had the tray, it cuts away from her, it cuts back, and now it's here. It's crazy. I need to know exactly where this is. I feel like it's the X-Files alien music or whatever. Like, what's going on here? Where'd it go? Don't act like you two are shocked about what's going on. You literally told or knew you would get Troy to say those horrible things about Gabriella so that they would break up and not do the show. You knew this was going to happen. And now, because it's actually going down the way that you predicted it was going to go down. Oh, I feel like a bad friend. I feel like we screwed up. We really actually hurt their feelings. It's not like we knew that was going to happen. Come on, guys. Ah, what's this I see? A little bread sandwich. That sandwich is literally just bread. It is literally just bread. There's no meat, no cheeses, no condiments, no vegetables. It's bread, wrapped in plastic wrap. I see he gets his sandwich making skills from his father, who had lettuce and bread in his sandwich, but this one, he forgot to put the lettuce in. He's just eating a bread sandwich, and he took a bite out of it. Troy, you're just getting carbs. Put some protein on that thing. You bake those fresh today? How early did you have to wake up to bake those? Because presumably school starts at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You have to get there. I don't know when school starts for you, but I'm assuming it starts sometime early in the morning. So if you had to get up, what time do you have to get up? And you might have had basketball practice or an open gym before school. Maybe. You probably had to get up at like 4 in the morning to bake the cookies. Depending on how far does Zeke live from the school? I don't know. He has to ride the bus, I would assume. Unless he's got a car. He's a junior, so I guess he could have a car. But I never see him driving a car. So how early do you have to get up and bake these cookies? Like 6 o'clock in the morning? What happened here? Why are you getting up that early to bake cookies, Zeke? Make them the night before. I know they're fresh, but they're not going to be fresh if you make them the night before. But it saves you getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever it may be. Come on, Zeke. Learn how to bake efficiently. Okay, Troy. Now you're just trespassing. I mean, you're just breaking and entering into their backyard. Miss Montez, you're telling me that you're not gonna lock your back gate? Come on. I know this is Albuquerque, and there's probably not a lot of crime, but when you got a horny teenager out here, you gotta lock your patio, your back doors. What are we doing here? This is trespassing, Troy. Come on. Troy's doing all of this talking on the phone while he's actively climbing a tree. I gotta respect the grind, because he doesn't miss a beat. He doesn't like have to catch his breath or sound like he's trying at all. That is some next level cardio, that he can climb that tree, talk on the phone, and not lose his breath or be out of breath at all when he gets up there. Also kind of creepy that he's doing it, but still, not to not lose any breath while you're talking on the phone and climbing a tree, not showing any effort. Amazing.
Because I brought you something.
What do you mean?
Turn around.
You cannot tell me, you cannot, with a straight face, tell me that this man is not creepy. If Troy was ugly, if he did not look the way that he looks, you cannot tell me she would be okay with this. If he can think about this in the context of her not liking him, and he was ugly. Like if he liked her but she didn't like him and he was still trying this, think about it like this. He says, "Well, turn around. Come on. Turn around." Like you can't tell me that if he was uglier and she wasn't into him like that she wouldn't be creeped the F out. That he climbed her patio and staring at her through her door. Man, hot people really do get it all, don't they? That's whack. Fourth wall break time again. I wonder if that's the one time, the one and only time we get to hear Zach actually sing in this movie. I wonder if they actually considered having Drew do that part and then just like dubbing it over like the rest of it. But then they probably thought that'd be a little too cruel because they've had Drew sing all of these parts and they're going to have him sing all the other parts too. So we might as well give Zach a little bit. I mean, we can't just get rid of his singing the entire time, and it's only like a line or two. It's not that big of a deal. So I just wonder what the meeting was when like the writer's room and they were talking about this part of the scene, and they were like, we're gonna have Troy sing a part of the song, started something new here, and on the patio or on the back porch or back deck or whatever it is, balcony, I guess, and we're gonna have him sing it. But we're debating, should we have Drew sing it or should we have Zach sing it? And Kenny Ortega's probably like, we'll have Zach sing it. It's only a line or two. It's what's the big deal? So I wonder if they even considered having Drew sing it, or if they always were gonna have Zach be the one to sing it. It's always funny to me that this is the only part that we get to see Zach actually sing in this movie. You forgave him just like that because he climbed your balcony climbed a tree to get to your balcony like a creep, and just, he sang a few words to you. Oh, he sang the song that you guys sang when you first met on New Year's. Oh, now all these nasty things that he said to you are just gonna completely forget because he's attractive and he's saying to you. Come on, Gabrielle, have some morals. He said some bad things about you, some nasty thing. He called you nothing. He said you were nothing to him. And you're just gonna forgive him because he's sexy? And you like it? Come on, Gabriella. What are we doing here? Having this many students still at school at 5:36 in the afternoon is crazy. I get, like, basketball practice runs long. You got some extra activities, extracurricular activities like the decathlon practice or whatever and all that kind of stuff. But having this many students still at school at almost 6 o'clock in the afternoon, you gotta be kidding me, bro. You gotta be absolutely joking. It doesn't make sense if it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. Why would all these kids be here that early? That doesn't make sense either. So it's gotta be PM. Why are they there so late? Go home, have some dinner with your families, stop spending all your time at school. Come on. Crazy. What is this musical even about? Somebody please tell me. Okay. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tyrant here, a little bit of a rant, you could say. I need to know. I need to know. In what galaxy, in what universe is a state championship basketball game scheduled at 3:30 in the freaking afternoon? I get the Scholastic Decathlon being at 3:30 in the afternoon. Kind of. That can make sense. You can get me there. And the callbacks being at 3:30, that makes perfect sense. Because the kids just go right from class to the practice for the callbacks. I get that, makes perfect sense to me. But having a state championship basketball game at 3:30 in the afternoon makes literally no sense. How does West High get there at 3:30? How do they get there? How do the fans get there? The parents? Somebody needs to inform me on how it makes any sense to have a basketball game, a state championship basketball game at 3:30 in the afternoon. I get like 6:30 or 7:30. That makes sense. People get off their jobs. They get out off of work. They go back home. They have some dinner. They go to the game. They have a good time. Get some popcorn. Have a hot dog. Whatever. I get it. That makes sense. That's normal. But to have at 3:30 in the afternoon, some schools don't even get out until 3:30 in the afternoon. Makes no sense to me. It's the one thing that I can just... it frustrates me so much. It doesn't make any sense. Zeke said a pie. Sir, that is a pie cake. In what universe is that a pie? Unless you've got some sort of like cherry or blueberry or blackberry or apple or some sort of fruit filling in a pie crust around that thing, then that is a cake, sir. You want to be a baker? You want to bake? And you're calling that a pie? Just because it's got pie? You could have put the pie symbol on a pie, an actual pie, but you put it on a cake, and you're calling it a pie? Come on, Zeke. What are we doing here? You want to be a baker and you're doing this? This is Bush League. Come on. What are we doing, Zeke? You're better than that. Is this part of their attempt to get in the good graces of the drama department? Or like... what's the point of them wearing the Go Drama Club t-shirts under their warm-up stuff? I never understood that. Like, they said that they're gonna make them pay or whatever. They're gonna get back at them, and that's how they get back at them. I know that their overall goal is to do they're gonna get to their plan. We'll get to that in a minute, but like, what's the point of the Go Drama Club t-shirts? Like, just to make them, like, to lull them into a false sense of security so that they don't think anything wrong is going on? Like, they're okay with the drama club? Is that what it is? Because I need to know. So they get out at like 3:10, 3:15 almost. And you're telling me that everybody's ready to go for a basketball game at 3:30 in the afternoon? I mean, come on. Come on. How did everybody get there? How? It's 3:30 in the afternoon. How are some of these adults here? How is West High here? Did they share a building? How did they get here on time? I'm assuming they had to take a bus to get here. Did they get out at 2:30? Like, what's going... How does this work? It doesn't make sense. How did all these adults get here? How did Miss Montez get here? Does she work from home? It's 3:30. How'd you get off your... Did you leave early from your job? How are all these other adults here? How is the competition here? Do these people not have jobs? Do they just have infinite money and infinite time? What's going on here? Make it make sense. Why is everybody... Can somebody explain this to me? Why is everybody getting, like, dressed up? Is this like a... Because this is only the callbacks. So why is the callback so important? I don't understand, like, what the big deal about the callbacks is. This isn't even the actual play. Maybe this is like a run through of... That's why everybody's getting dressed up, because it's like a run through of the performance. But if this is a callback, callbacks mean you haven't gotten the part yet. You just get another chance to audition to ensure that you possibly could get that part, but you haven't gotten it yet. So if this is just a callback, this isn't the actual play. Why is it taken so seriously? Why is everybody getting dressed up? Why is it such a big deal? What is happening? Why is the callbacks this huge deal where everybody's dressed up, everybody's in a formal attire, ready to go, costumes and everything, if this is just a callback? What's the play gonna be like? I can't stress this enough. The girl in the middle at the table with the clocks, the timers, she literally does nothing. Why is she even there? She doesn't start the timer. She doesn't stop the timer. She doesn't aid in anybody's advantage. She doesn't help anybody. She's a waste of space right now. She's taking up the room in the middle of the floor. What is her purpose? She doesn't even stop or start the timers. Why is she there? I beg somebody, please tell me what this musical is even about. How does Taylor have this much power? How can she send a literal kill code from her laptop to the gym scoreboard and get away with it? How does she have this much power? Where's the IT guy? Where's the technical guy? Where's the computer guy that should have been able to stop it, I guess, or fix it? Like, what? How did she get there? Did she have somebody hack it for her, and then she just typed in the code or something? Like, how does she have this much power? She shouldn't be allowed to have that much power. That's dangerous. All right, we need to discuss some things here. First off, what is this musical even about? Because I still don't know. Secondly, Sharpay and Ryan are known to do their over-the-top versions of Kelsey's script. They did it with the song previously. So, do we take that to mean that Bop to the Top is an over-the-top version of what Kelsey wrote for the play? Or for the musical? So, if Troy and Gabriella get the lead roles, that they would have to sing Bop to the Top, but in Kelsey's version? Is it a slower down version of Bop to the Top? Is it not even in the musical at all, and Sharpay and Ryan just put it in there because that's what they do? They add their flair? Like, would we get to see Bop to the Top from if I went to the play, if I went to East High and I went to the musical, would I get to see Troy and Gabriella singing Bop to the Top? but just a different version of it, or would it be that exact version? Is that how Kelsey wrote it? It doesn't seem like that's how she wrote it, because her face the whole time says like she's disgusted and like annoyed that they're even doing this. So that makes me think that she either wrote it differently, slower, and that's not what they did. They did their own version of it, or she didn't have it in the play at all, and then Sharpay and Ryan just added it in because that's what they do. Because they just assumed they were going to get the leads anyway. I need to see, if it's true, I need to see Troy and Gabriella doing Bop to the Top, because that would really be awesome. What'd she just say? Because I'm assuming she said pianist, but that is not what it sounded like. And if it's not what she said, then we got some other issues. If you could, I'll turn it up for you so you can hear it again. There's a girl in the background that says she has stage fright, and it kills me every time, because why would you say that? Of course she's got stage fright. She never sung in front of this many people before. I mean, come on. Of course she's gonna be a little nervous. The whole auditorium is filled up basically, so there's a ton of people in here. Of course she's gonna be a little shy and scared, and for you to just to scream out, does she have stage fright? That's crazy. You're a crazy little girl right there. So I'm guessing that Troy and Gabriella are going to get the leads in the musical. That seems pretty obvious, judging by the reactions and all that kind of stuff, and judging by Miss Darvis's reaction. So with that, I want to see the music. This is just callbacks. This isn't the play. This isn't the musical. I want to see the actual musical. I don't want to see them in regular streetwear. I want to see them all dressed up. I want to see what this musical's all about. We got a freaking camel, and I want to see what's going on. And I want to see Troy and Gabriella doing Bop to the Top. I want to see Sharpay and Ryan doing. I want to see them doing Breaking Free. I think that'd be pretty awesome too. I want to see the musical. I want to see it because I don't know what it's about. Yeah, this announcer is totally not biased towards towards East High. Totally not biased. How does Gabriella have a red dress just with her? Did she bring it to school that day? If she did bring it, where'd she keep it? She keep it in her tiny little locker? Because I trust me, when I was in high school, I kept clothes in my tiny little locker. It didn't go well. They were wrinkled. They were just, it wasn't a good thing. So did she ask a teacher to put it in their classroom to hold it on for her? Did she know this was going to happen? Obviously, she knew something big was going to happen because it was the state championship game. So obviously, she wants to support the team. But how'd she get it? Did she keep it in her locker? Where'd she keep it? If she brought it with her, how'd she get it there? How'd she keep it? She couldn't have kept it in her locker. They don't got big lockers. Trust me, we've seen the lockers. They don't got big lockers. Where'd she get this red dress? Why did all these costume changes? What's going on here? I don't understand it. Where'd she get the red dress? See, it makes sense for Sharpay and Ryan to have wardrobe changes. That's their personalities. That's who they are. But everybody else, it doesn't make sense. Like, why does Gabriella change multiple times? Why does Troy change multiple times? Why does Chad change? Like, why is everybody changing clothes? You bring one pair of clothes, you get one pair of clothes, and that's it. You get one pair of clothes. That's it. Yo, Jason, dog. You just tossed her hat away like it's nothing. What if she wanted that hat? What if that hat goes with her outfit, and without it, she's going to be upset? You just, because you're a big basketball guy, you're going to toss her hat away and help her shoot the basket because, that's attractive. That's going to make her fall in love with you. What if she wanted that hat? That's disrespectful just to take her hat off and toss it away like it's nothing. Crazy. Jason, you got to learn how to read people because you're walking some dangerous territory if you just walk up to a girl and throw her hat away and think that's going to be, like, attractive. She's going to fall in love with you. Oh, Ryan's hip thrusting. It's the most iconic thing I've ever seen in my life. Ryan, I love you. The hip thrusting is fantastic. So now she's just totally flirting with Zeke after she just, completely rejected him like 5 seconds earlier with the baked cookies or whatever. I mean, come on, Sharpay. At least have some consistency. Chad's just totally cool with singing and dancing when we're all in this together. You've complained this whole movie about this is a break in the fourth wall one. You've complained this whole movie about how you don't want to sing, you don't want to dance, you think it's stupid, you think that everybody should just focus on their stuff and not do anybody else's stuff, and yet here you are, Chad, doing everybody else's stuff, and you're totally excited about it, you're totally happy about it, you're all in, and you're singing we're in this together with everybody else, and you're totally excited about it. Can you please be consistent one time in your life, Chad?
Young minds. The future.
First off, I do want to mention, I know we're gonna break the fourth wall in the very first, the very first clip. I understand that the real world application, the real world explanation for why they look a little bit older is because they obviously aged. Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Corbin Bleu, all the people, they all aged before the second movie was recorded or filmed. But this is just supposed to be the same year as the first movie. And Zac Efron looks hecka different. He looks crazy different from the first movie to the second movie because Zac Efron aged, obviously. So I just wanted to point that out there. I haven't even gotten started on the list that I have, the notes that I have. I just thought about that right now. That it's kind of crazy the age difference, even though we're supposed to believe that this is the same junior year. Okay. If you want me to believe it, I'll believe it. I'll go along with it. Oh, right there. So we have our first question, and why Chad did this. Chad, why are you kissing Miss Darbus? That's crazy to me. It's wild. She's your teacher. You can't just kiss her on the cheek. I know you're excited for summer, but come on, my guy. You can't just kiss your teacher on the cheek. That's crazy. That literally makes no sense. How does it make sense for Jason to be fully asleep to the point where he needs to be woken up by slamming books when he was literally 30 seconds ago fully awake, not only asking Miss Darbus about her past summers and stuff like that, asking questions to her, but in later scenes, he's like he's like putting his papers away and all that kind of stuff, and he's like messing around with the other classmates, like he's got his arm up and all that kind of stuff. But then you look at Troy and Gabriella for a second, then they come back and you look at the whole classroom, and he's asleep again. How does it make sense for Jason to be that asleep? There's no way. I know that there's people out there that can go asleep just like that. They can fall asleep instantly. But I don't take Jason as the type of guy that can have that ability. So there's no way that he should have been able to fall asleep that quickly to the point where he needs books slammed on him. He didn't get woken up by the bell. I mean, that's insanity. I don't know how that works. You know, Chad, I'm gonna cut you some slack. Once again, you are singing and dancing, and you're fully invested in it. But I'm gonna cut you some slack this time because I'm gonna say that you're just overly excited that it's summertime and you can't wait to get out of school and just hang out with your buddies, play some basketball, and chill out for the summer. So I'm gonna cut you some slack. Just this once, Chad. Just this once. If I see you dancing and singing again, then we're gonna have some problems. Show me some consistency. Please, Chad, I beg you.
This summer I gotta make bank. My parents keep talking about how much college is gonna cost.
Why is Troy so worried about how much college is gonna cost? He's literally gonna get a full ride scholarship for playing basketball. So that takes away all of his college expenses right there. And if he somehow wasn't going to get a full ride scholarship, his parents are loaded. Have you seen the house they live in? I know for a fact that in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you cannot afford a house like that on a teacher's salary. Are we kidding? Are we joking? So his mom must be loaded to have a house like that. They have that type of house. They have a backyard basketball court. Not just half a basketball. They have a full basketball court with 2 hoops. They have a fenced-in backyard. They have a tree house. They have a... I mean, are you kidding me, Troy? And you're worried about college? You're worried about how much it's going to cost? I understand the whole, his parents want him to have some life experience. They want him to earn his own money. I understand that part, but he doesn't need to worry about college. He's got it covered. Chad, I'm going to need you to be so specific. What were you two doing without a car? What kind of quote-unquote dates were you going on before you have a car? Because you say you need to get a car so you can take her out on a proper date? What on earth were you two doing? I have a suspicion of what you were doing, but I need to know specific facts. What were you doing that wasn't considered a proper date?
You really came through. I mean, you helped me with the winter musical.
I did.
Those vocal exercises?
This isn't even in my notes. I just thought about this right now. Does Gabriella ever see Sharpay do that? I'm assuming the way that she says it means that, like, at some point Gabriella had seen Sharpay, maybe during the actual play, because we know that I have my questions about what the play is about. We talked about that in the last episode, or last video. But also, we don't know how many showings of the play, the musical, they did. So I'm assuming since Sharpay was the understudy, she, like, helped Gabriella get through the musical, all the different productions, all the different times they had to do the musical. So I'm assuming that's when she learned about the I'm assuming that's when she learned about that. So I'll take that for my answer. But we never see it on camera. We never see it on screen. So I always wonder about that. Like, when did she learn about that? Because she never, in the first movie, I don't think she ever is in the same room as Sharpay when Sharpay does that. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm forgetting a scene. But as far as I remember, I don't think she's ever in the same room as Sharpay when Sharpay or Ryan does that. So it must have been during the time when her and Troy were the leads of the musical, and she was the understudy. Sharpay was the understudy, and she was helping Gabrielle. That's the only thing I can think of. Troy runs past the gang right there, and it's like a second, not even a second, before he shows up right here at the break of the hallway to go turn to Gabriella's locker. So the fact that it takes all of the people, Chad and all of them, Kelsey and everybody and whoever else is there, it takes them so long to get from where they were. It should not take them that long. It should take them at most 5 seconds to get to where Troy is right here from where Troy ran in front of him. But it takes them like 4 minutes to get to that point. I mean, are we serious right now? Are we serious? What is going on? Did they just get like trapped in a vortex, in an infinite hallway? Like, what happened here? I need some explanations.
T as in Troy?
T as in Troy? That has to be the single craziest thing ever said. What else would it be for, Gabriella? What else would it be for? Of course it means Troy. T is in Troy? T is in turtle? Come on, Gabby. What are we doing here? You're supposed to be the smart one. T is in Troy. I can't with this girl. Even Troy looks confused. He doesn't know what to say. He's like, yeah, of course. Like, what else would it... Troy's even confused. If Troy's confused, everybody's confused. This little kid, this underclassman, has impeccable timing. You couldn't see that they were about to go in for a kiss, and then you couldn't have waited until they got done. Like, you couldn't have just... You were already awkwardly standing there waiting to get your yearbook signed. You couldn't have just waited like 3 more seconds for them to kiss and then come up and get... Why'd you have to go in right as she was up leading in to kiss? Why couldn't you have waited the 3-4 seconds until they were done? Why'd you have to go in there and do that? Oh, you got to read the room there, kid. I know you're an underclassman. You haven't experienced that probably, but you got to read the room still. You got to see the situation and know when the right time is to go ask for a signature. And then Chad doing it, of course, is just disrespectful. Chad knows what he's doing.
Seeing moves I didn't see last season. Keep it coming, guys.
Troy sitting on the counter with his sweaty butt after playing basketball is insane to me. Like, have some respect for your mom's furniture and counter space. There's a chair right there. Why you gotta sit on the countertop? And by the way, look at this house. You're telling me that a teacher's salary, a coach's salary is pay a high school coach? I understand East High is really good at basketball and they're gonna pay their coach a lot. Look at this house. This house is not being paid on solely a teacher's salary, a coach's salary. So, I mean, give me a break there. I just wanted to point that out. But Troy, have some respect. You are like 17 years old, 16 years old. Have some respect. You are old enough to know not to sit on the countertop after you've been out there sweating and playing basketball. Fun fact, I know another fourth wall break here. I just wanted to point this out. The girl in the middle, part of Sharpay's crew, she's actually the assistant to Gustavo Rock in Nickelodeon's Big Time Rush series. So, a little fun fact for you there.
Turkey imported from Maine.
Does Maine have good turkey? I've never really thought about Maine for turkey. Usually you think of Maine, you think of lobster. But turkey? I guess. I mean, maybe. I have no idea. You like what you see. You like it a lot. Troy couldn't have walked in with a goofier entrance. Like, what is he doing? It's the goofiest way to walk in to a pool I've ever seen in my entire life. And you like what you see. I understand that Troy's attractive, but I mean, come on. He's the goofiest person in the entire pool. Okay. This one is so egregious that we have to break the fourth wall in this one. I can't even trick myself into believing I could stay in universe and explain this. Why does Gabriella have a stunt double for the pool? You have to be kidding me. She literally jumps in the pool later in the movie. This is the only time she has a stunt double. Why does she have a stunt double? And why is the camera focused so heavily on her face? This is so clearly not Vanessa Hudgens that it's embarrassing. Like, what are we doing here? At least try to hide it a little bit. Are you serious right now? I mean, this is one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in movie history. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, please. It doesn't. She literally jumps in the pool later on in the movie during the nighttime swim with Troy after he gets after Huma Huma. She jumps in the pool. She's in the pool. So why there had to have been something with Vanessa Hudgens on set that day where she just, like, maybe she couldn't jump in the pool. Maybe she had something. Maybe she, like, had a open wound or something. I don't know. Maybe she had cramps. Maybe she had just eaten lunch and she couldn't go swimming for a half hour. I don't know what it was, but it's just so crazy to me that they had a stunt double dive into the pool here for her when she goes and does it later in the movie. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This is the one thing in this entire movie that I am just flabbergasted about. because it makes no sense to me. Maybe one of you guys can explain it in a better way. I don't know. It just boggles my mind that they did it like this. That is a dangerous wink, by the way. Very dangerous.
Come on. How did we get from the top of the world to the bottom of the heap?
Chad, I gave you one chance. Now you're willingly doing it. Now you initiated it. The singing and the dancing. Well, the dancing coming in a couple minutes. Or a couple seconds, I guess. But you initiate... Chad, I keep giving you these breaks, but you keep on just going completely 180 against the grain. I can't handle it anymore. At this point, just say you like singing and dancing, because that would make my life a whole heck of a lot easier. Okay, I've got to pause it right here because I just want to point something out. If you listen to the lyrics of Work This Out, it's kind of crazy, actually. Like, Jason says he needed Benjamins, but this isn't worth the stress. Like, you are a high schooler. Yeah, you're working at a country club, but, like, you expected just to get a bunch of $100 bills? You, like, what? And then you've got Taylor and what? I'm blanking on her name. Why am I? Oh, I'm blanking on her name. Martha. There we go. I knew I could get it. You got Taylor and Martha, who are worrying about burning people's toast. It's not that hard to make toast. Toast is, I'm pretty sure 100% toast is the easiest thing you could ever make in your entire life. Even if you have no cooking experience, you can make toast. I'm pretty sure if you handed toast to a 3-year-old, or if you handed bread to a 3-year-old, you could probably get them to make toast. So, why are you worried about burning people's toast? It's the easiest thing ever. And then, who was the other? Oh, Chad saying he'd rather face a 7-footer in the post than doing this job. I don't know if you would, Chad. You're probably, what, at best, 5'10"? At best? Maybe pushing 6 foot, maybe. And you'd say you would rather face a 7-foot man in the paint of an NBA basketball, or just a basketball court in general. I don't know if you really would want to do that, Chad. I don't know. I've seen a lot of basketball in my day. I don't know if you want to go against a 7-footer. And then later in the song, Zeke says the Knicks and Sixers. Like, why? They're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why would the Knicks and the Sixers be the teams that you would want to go see? I mean, this is around, what, 2007, maybe? 2008? So, at that time, the Knicks weren't that good. The Sixers were not that good. I mean, they were fine teams, but, like, you feel like you would want the Lakers or the Knicks are a brand name team, a huge team brand. But maybe like the Lakers or the Celtics or stuff like that. Stuff that actually would matter. I mean, Kobe Bryant was in the league at this point. So, it's just weird. So if you analyze, maybe that's a whole other video that we could do. Analyzing the words in some of the High School Musical songs. Because some of them are kind of crazy. Every time I see this scene in the song, I can't help but think of the video. I saw it on Facebook, but I'm sure it's... my brother actually sent it to me on Facebook. I'm sure... it's been everywhere. It's just a video. Somebody had taken away the music, and it's just that scene where they're hitting the pots and pans and the glasses and stuff. But it's got no of the music in it. It's just what it would sound like normal if you did this in like real life. And it's the funniest thing ever. It's so awkward. It sounds so weird without the actual background music of Work This Out. It's so hilarious. Every time I see the scene, I think of that now.
Let's work it.
Someone please tell me, how Troy is able to be this talented, where he can write the words "let's go" upside down and backwards? Because if you think about the orientation of the paper, it would be in his hand, he'd have to write it. But then when he flips it, it'd have to read "let's go" the right way upside down. So he wrote "let's go" perfectly legible upside down at the least. But then it would probably have to be backwards because you're flipping it the other way, right? Or maybe it wouldn't have to be backwards. Maybe it would still work if you did it normally, if you didn't write it backwards. But I'm pretty sure it would flip. When it flips over, it's the opposite direction when you have to read it like that. So I'm pretty sure it's backwards and upside. It's at least upside down, but I'm pretty sure it's also backwards. So how is he this talented that he can write it upside down and backwards, perfectly legible? Troy, you're too talented.
May I have this dance?
Teasing, can I have this dance? I can't even. That's unbelievable. I understand why Troy... I understand all of his problems. I understand. I mean, if I was in his shoes and I had Vanessa Hudgens looking at me like that, like she's staring at me, getting me, I would be in the same situation as Troy. I'd be in all these situations. I'd be singing like crazy. If she was, I mean, have you seen some of the looks in the first 2 movies that she's given so far to Troy? If she's giving me those looks, I can't even speak. You got to be kidding me. I get it, Troy. I get it, all your problems. There's no way they know the words to this song. How did they know? I mean, I get it that like they kept glancing at it, but how could they know all of the different chorus lines, all of the different next sections? I'm not a music guy, so I don't know the terms. How do they know the next sections of the song when they quickly glance at it? There's no way they could have known all the words. How do they know? It doesn't make any sense. They couldn't have got it that quickly. I understand that they were looking at it during the beginning of the song, but they couldn't have known these parts. They couldn't have known the ending parts, right? There's no way. Is it just me, or is Jason giving off major Subway vibes with his outfit? I don't know. Just the green and the yellow, it's like been like burned into my mind that's Subway. So just like the combination that he's wearing right now just gives me huge Subway vibes.
Thank you.
Taking 3 cookies? Those had to have been for the guests. And you're just taking 3. Now they got to go make more cookies. That's disrespectful, taking all those cookies. Troy? Daddy? Excuse me, Sharpay. We are in public. You can't just be throwing around daddy like that with those looks. Come on, Sharpay. Daddy? Ah, it's kid. Oh my god.
Oh, thank you.
Troy being great at golf is very on brand to me. I don't know why, just very on brand. Wow, Sharpay, way to put my boy on the spot. I mean, come on.
Has 10 rules about boy behavior, and 9 of them involve boys forgetting things they should never forget, like dinner dates.
Well, it wasn't an official date type of thing.
Rule number 3, all dates are official.
Maybe it's because I'm a boy. Maybe I'm immune to boy disease, or maybe I'm not immune to boy disease. But I feel like Taylor oversteps here. Maybe that's just me. I just feel like she shouldn't have gotten Gabriella's head like that. Troy's trying. He's got other things that he's doing. He can't, like, I know he's not. Troy's not very good at communicating. We'll say that. But like, he's trying his best. But I feel like Taylor just like, she gets in Gabriella's head a little bit too much, and then we get the whole Gabriella starts overthinking things, and then we'll get there. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like she shouldn't have felt the need to say those things to Gabriella, because Troy's trying. He's trying. And then, oh, by the way, the fact that they're still there working, putting towels away and stuff, It's like, it's got to be like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And the fact that they're still there, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. The dedication to their job, very impressive. If it was me, Troy's a very, very respectable young man. Because if it was me, I would have just like said no and walked away. But I understand that Troy's like, he's not like that. He wants to secure a good future for himself. So he's going to listen to what Fulton, and Fulton's his boss. It makes sense. But I've been like, I'm off the clock. I don't have to go with you anywhere. So I'm leaving. Like that's what I would like. He already clocked out. So the fact that he goes with Fulton, he could have easily just left and not have to sit through Huma Huma. But he could have just left. But he didn't. So I respect it. Huma Huma feels like a fever dream. Ryan being so unnecessarily mad at the end of the song is giving me life. I love it. Like, I understand that she didn't take his role. She got rid of his role and gave it to Troy. But, like, him being so mad is amazing.
Our thing.
Whoa! Time out on that one. Okay, I've got an R thing. It's with Gabriella, and I'm very late for her.
It's crazy that Sharpay lost all her growth. She just reverts back to the way she was earlier in the year. Like, she had all this growth when they first showed up in the first movie. She had all this growth. Well, I mean, maybe not all of this growth, but she had some character growth at the end of the movie. And now in the second movie, she just reverts all back to how she was. And she gets rid of all that growth, and now it's just reset back to zero. It's kind of crazy. And it does it again in the third movie. I don't understand why they had to make Sharpay the villain each movie. There could have been other ways to get the villain out, the villain storylines, I guess. They could have been other ways to get it, but it's just annoying that Sharpay loses all of her character growth at the start of each new movie. It's kind of annoying because she goes through some good character arcs with like learning to take a breather and learning to take a step back when she knows that she's not the main star. Like she learns that each movie, and yet we still go and we start it back up the next time. It's kind of annoying. Oh, now she's okay with jumping. Now she's okay with jumping in. You couldn't jump in to save Sharpay. You had to get a stunt double to do that. But because it's Troy and he's hot, you can jump in. Okay, Gabriella, get real.
Well, when you graduate, lots of people are going to be chasing the same opportunities. There's nothing wrong with keeping your eye on the prize. In fact, if you don't, you get left behind.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I didn't get my friends jobs at the club so they could sit and watch me eat in the dining room.
Yeah, I'm just saying never be ashamed of attention as long as you've earned it. Scholarship's special. That's why there's only a few to go around.
Troy's dad is speaking so much truth right now that it's kind of crazy. Like, he is spitting 100% facts. I wonder what this little girl's doing nowadays. Because if I was that little girl and I was on set and Zac Efron said, "Hey, cutie," to me, I would talk about that for the rest of my entire life. Like, what is this girl talk about that? I mean, I would.
I did overhear him asking her for her opinion on his new Italian golf shoes.
He didn't ask me.
I'm assuming that this is the next day after Troy gets the promotion. So why does Gabriella get upset that he didn't ask her for her opinion on his new Italian golf shoes? He just got them. Like, how is he just gonna like text her or call her that night? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the next day, but I'm assuming that it's showing like, oh, he gets his promotion now. This is the very first day of his promotion. I don't know if that's true or not. It could be a couple days later. Who knows? But I'm assuming that it's the next day. So Gabriella needs to chill. Gabriella needs to chill about like freaking out that like, oh, he didn't tell me. He asked Sharpay. He didn't ask me how his golf shoes look. Girl, he don't even like Sharpay like that. Chill. He doesn't like her like that. I feel like Taylor is the real villain, not Sharpay, because Taylor is always getting in Gabriella's head about Troy and Sharpay. I feel like Sharpay's just trying to help his future. But Taylor's like trying to ruin the relationship because she thinks in her mind that Troy's doing something wrong or that Sharpay's doing something wrong. I feel like Taylor's the real villain. Sharpay being really good at golf, secretly good, is very funny to me. Because we saw her play earlier with her parents and Troy and Chad. And her being secretly good is hilarious. No offense, but these guys look way older than college guys. Now, it could be that these guys are like alma mater kind of guys and they're coming back to maybe like help recruit. Maybe they're friends with Sharpay's dad because he's got a lot of pull at U of A. So maybe they're friends. They're coming to help recruit Troy. That's a possibility. But I'm assuming that they're the ones that are on the court playing with Troy and they're on the team. So if they're on the team, they look way older than college kids. But I could be wrong. They could just be guys that have graduated and are coming back to be like, oh, hey, look at this. We got these really talented guys that played at U of A. Now, why don't we help you come to U of A? We'll recruit you. That could be a possibility too. I'm not counting that out. I'm just saying if it's not true, if they're actually on the team, then they look way older than they need to be, or than they should be.
Ooh, that looks great. Hey, I almost forgot. I ordered Swiss on my burger. So go ahead and check it out, man. Try it.
I usually like to go to bat for Troy because he gets a pretty raw deal in this movie, but he was super douchey here. I mean, you couldn't even have just like said, "Oh, hey, this is my best friend Chad. He also plays basketball. Why don't you give him a little handshake and something?" Like, you could have done a little. You don't have to like fully throw him into the conversation because Chad's working, but you could have like said, "Oh, hey, this is my best friend Chad. Well, like, he also plays basketball. He's on the same team. We're like a duo, a dynamic duo." But Chad, like Troy, that I usually like to defend Troy, but this one is hard to defend against because that's pretty douchey. Okay, look, I get why Gabriella is so upset with Troy to an extent, but Troy is literally trying to make a better future. He's trying to make his future so much better by helping with this recruiting to U of A and to get this scholarship locked down and to have his future set. And Gabriella was just all about, she's still in the high school mindset. She just wants to hang out with her friends, hang out with her hot boyfriend, and have a good time during summer. But Troy's looking to the future. But then in the very next movie, it completely flips the opposite way, and Gabriella's the one looking to the future and thinking about her college and what's going to happen with Stanford, and then she completely breaks up with Troy to go to Stanford because she's too scared to come back because she doesn't want to say goodbye. And yet Troy is just trying to do the same exact thing in this movie, and yet he gets ridiculed for it and gets yelled at and gets everybody angry at him. I don't understand. Yes, Troy could have gone about it a better way. He definitely could have. He could have handled it slightly differently. But he was trying to help his future for presumably both of them. I mean, they're going to be together after high school, I would assume, right? That's their whole thinking. But I feel like Chad and Gabriella are a little bit more out of line because, like, Gabriella's super hypocritical. She goes and does the exact same thing the next movie. To a worse extent, she breaks up with him. So, I mean, like, I get why she's upset, but she has... They both go about their things very, very confusingly and very wrong. They probably should do it differently. But, I mean, Troy, he's just trying to help his future.
I wanna play ball now and that's all, this is what I do. It ain't no dance that you can show me.
Oh, okay. So now that you're playing baseball, you're totally fine with singing and dancing, Chad. Come on! I'm just asking for a little bit of consistency here. Just because you're playing a sport means it's okay to sing and dance like it was with basketball? Oh, I get it. I get your double standards, Chad. I like how Chad is singing about how he doesn't sing and dance. He don't dance. I don't dance. The whole song. As he's singing and dancing, Chad, be for real.
Swing it out, spin around to the dance. I wanna play ball, not dance hall. I'm making a triple, not a curtain call.
I wish the umpire was dancing along with them, kind of like Savannah Bananas style. That'd make it a little bit better. If this is a staff baseball game, How did they separate the teams? Did they know it was going to be Lava Springs versus East High? Because that wouldn't make any sense. If they did know, then how did the East High kids get their uniforms there? Because those are the East High colors. Those are the East High uniforms. Did Lava Springs just have those in the storage room, or did they bring them from home? Did they go back? Because there's a little bit of time in between games, so maybe they drove back home and they got them, and then they came back. What if the Lava Spring, or what if the East High kids never got the jobs there? What if Sharpay never told Fulton to get Troy a job, and then Troy tells the other East High kids to come work with him? What if that never happened? Would the Lava Spring, or would the baseball game just been Lava Springs staff versus each other? Would they, what uniforms would they wear? How would they separate each other? Because obviously they got yellow and black. What would the other team wear if it's just Lava Springs versus Lava Springs? These are the hard-hitting questions I need to know answers to. I can't handle the not knowing.
Hey, Evans! I'm not saying I'm gonna dance at the show. But if I did, what would you have me do?
I'm so done with you, Chad. I'm done! You are the epitome of a contradiction. I can't handle it. I'm so done. How is this 5'7" white boy cooking these college players? That makes no sense. All these guys gotta be like 6'5" and above, and they should be destroying this little white boy, but he is cooking them. It makes no sense. I know Troy's talented. He's not even singing. That's his superpower. He's not even singing, and he's cooking these college kids. What is going on here?
All right, so you call that a little game?
Excuse me? Why are they in each other's clothes? Did you agree to switch? Like, what is happening? Why are you switching clothes? Why is Chad wearing Ryan's outfit? Why is Ryan wearing Chad's outfit? How did you get this to happen? Did you go to the bathroom and switch clothes? Did you do it on the baseball diamond in the dugout? Like, what? Why did you think this was a good idea? To show, like, that they're a union now, that they're together, that they're one, to show that they're on the same page? I feel like you could have gone about this different ways. You didn't have to show visually like this that they changed their clothes. How did they go about this? How did you change your clothes like? Why? Troy, why are you so upset? You really think that Ryan is some sort of like threat or competition to Gabriella, or for Gabriella? Come on, Troy. Come on. Let's be real. Come on, Troy.
Did you even ask to include us, Captain? I didn't go looking for the Red Hawks. The Red Hawks came to me, okay? I didn't sign up for this golf job. Fulton offered it. I said yes. My decision. But I show up to work. Same as you. So chill, man.
You get a speck of dirt on your pants and someone dry cleans
You wouldn't do the same thing.
If I was as good as you?
I did not say that.
You didn't have to.
And neither did you.
Exactly. Okay. Let me talk about that. Let me speak my truth. Troy is saying 100% facts. He's speaking 1,000% valid right here. He's just showing up. He didn't ask for the job. He's just taking it. And the fact that he says you wouldn't do the same, and Chad says, what if I was as good as you? It has nothing about being as good as Troy. Sharpay's the one doing it. Yes, it just so happens that Troy's very good at basketball. So is Chad. Chad's got his number freaking hanging in the rafters when they graduate in the third movie, just like Chad, or just like Troy. So the fact that Chad, you cannot tell me that Chad would not do the exact same thing if he was in Troy's shoes. If Sharpay liked Chad and not Troy, and she was doing the exact same thing, but Chad was the person she was focused on, you cannot tell me that he would not do the exact same thing. He would not neglect his friends and choose the scholarship in the basketball, all this kind of stuff. Chad likes to act like he's all high and mighty, but he would do the exact same thing. I know this for a fact. It's very hypocritical. He's getting all mad at Troy, and I think he's jealous. That's why he's getting all mad at Troy. He's jealous that it's not happening to him. He's as good of a basketball player as Troy, but he's not getting the love from Sharpay. That's the whole reason. That's the whole thing that's giving Troy these opportunities. So, of course, he's going to be mad because he's not getting these opportunities, but he's getting mad at Troy, even though he would do the exact same thing. It's very annoying. Does Troy think he's some sort of, like, master at hiding? Because he does this a lot. He hid from his dad earlier and somehow got away, even though his dad totally should have seen him. And now he's hiding from Gabriella and from all the gang. And he's not even hiding that well. If Gabriella just looked up or had any sort of peripheral vision, she would be able to see Troy. So I don't know why he thinks he's good at hiding, because he really sucks at it. And I don't know how they don't find him.
We're to a bunch of dishwashers?
Us? Well, I guess that's showbiz.
When did you become one of them?
Sharpay is so delulu about everything that she doesn't even see how rude she's being to her own brother. Like, Ryan's just trying to have a good summer. He's just trying to dance at the talent show and have a good time. And Sharpay's just like so one-sided about this whole Troy thing that she completely neglects her own brother. And completely just like tosses him aside with no second thought to go with Troy. Like, it's just crazy. This is again what I was talking about with the losing her character development. It's crazy. Fulton may be the realest person at this resort. Everything he says is real. And that's what makes Fulton one of the best characters.
All junior staffers will be required to work on show night. What? Yeah, it says no staff participation in the show will be allowed, no exceptions.
No show?
There's a show, we're just not in it.
That's great.
What did they think the job was going to be? Like, why are they getting... I understand that they were super excited to do the talent show and stuff, but they're at a job. They shouldn't... The talent show shouldn't be their number one focus. Yeah, it's a nice little side thing to do, but they're trying to make a paycheck. Why are they getting... What did they think it was going to be? Did they think they were just going to, like... Oh, I don't know, like wait a few tables and get out of there scot-free with a huge paycheck and have a good time during the summer? No, they're at a job. They're supposed to be working. I don't know. These kids are kind of crazy. I understand why Gabriella's mad. I do. But she's attacking Sharpay for no reason. Sharpay's trying to help Troy. Yeah, she may be doing it because, maybe Troy will end up realizing that he has feelings for her and break up with Gabriella and start dating her. Maybe that's somewhat of her underlying goal. But at the end of the day, she is trying to give Troy, save his job, give him a better future, and help him get to college, and help his long-term goals of playing basketball. And Gabriella, she literally says that Sharpay is messing with her friends and her summer. That's all she's focused on is her summer. She don't care about the future just yet. We'll get to that in a bit. She don't care about the future just now, but she cares about her summer and having a good time. So she's being super selfish, getting mad at Troy and getting mad at Sharpay because her summer is ruined. Even though Troy's trying to, it's the summertime. He's supposed to be having a good time hanging out with his girl and having a nice little summer. But he's also trying to think of his future. So, I don't know. Gabriella just, it's very Reenie, if you ask me.
Hey, what do you mean you're done here? I mean, you can't quit.
Us working together sounded good, but plans change and people change. The club talent show is a big deal for Sharpay and evidently for your future. So it's cool. Just make it happen. Wear your new Italian shoes.
Hey, I'm still me.
Troy being so confused during Gotta Go My Own Way is what I live for. He's just so confused on why she's angry and why she's leaving and why she's got to go her own way. It's just amazing because he has no idea what's going on. He's like, why are you mad? What's happening? And like, Gabriella, she's just so selfish at this point. Like, it's crazy. And Troy's trying to do his own thing, and he's trying to also be in a relationship with her, and he's trying to balance both, and he's obviously not doing a very good job of it, but she's not communicating, she's just leave it. I mean, but it's crazy how confused he is. It's great. You know how when it's dark and you open a car door, the lights are supposed to turn on inside the car? They don't turn on when she opens that door. So I don't know how that's possible, or how does she, not even thinking about that, how does she have a ride? When did she have the time to call? Is that her mom? Or is it just they didn't have Uber back then. who is this person? It's got to be her mom, I would assume. How did she have time to call her mom? We didn't see her pick up the phone and call anybody. She literally went from Sharpay to talk to Troy. Then she went in the locker room to get her stuff. And we followed her the whole way through that. Then she goes back outside, goes on the little, like, small little bridge thing they have there, talks to Troy again, and then gets in the car. How does this car get here? When did she have time to send a text or to call her mom and tell her that she needs to come pick up? And how far away is Lava Springs from her mom's house? Like, how long was the drive? It's got to be like a half hour, right? 25 minutes, something like that. It's got to be something, at least a little distance, because they live I'm assuming they live in Albuquerque, right? And then Lava Springs is like on the outskirts. So it's got to be a decent little drive. So she would have had to call her mom before she even got in the argument with Sharpay at the beginning. But that doesn't make any sense because we never saw her pick up the phone. So there's no way that Sharpay or Gabrielle's mom would have been there in time. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way that this would have happened. So I don't know. Make it make sense.
Usually taking these right off the grill.
No, Coach Bolton. Why are you making ribs at 9 o'clock at night? Maybe that's why Troy's not taking them right off the grill. Because it's literally dark outside. Who makes ribs at 9 o'clock at night? Now, maybe, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, maybe, just maybe, the time difference makes it seem like it's a little bit darker than it actually is. Maybe it's actually only like 7 o'clock, and that's an understandable time to be making ribs. If you're eating a little bit later in the day, 7 o'clock is reasonable. But who's firing up the grill and making ribs at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night? Because that's what I'm assuming the time is. So maybe that's why, Coach Bolton. Maybe that's why, because you're making ribs at dark outside. Okay, this is a one, like, a little future tease for the third movie. You see that picture on Troy's nightstand where it's him and Gabriella, and they're in formal wear, dressed up, ready to go to what looks to be some sort of dance. Now, it could be homecoming, that's true, it could very well be homecoming, but I'm assuming, since this is summertime, I'm assuming that it's prom. But in the third movie, and we'll get to this in the third movie, actually, Troy says he's never even been to a dance before. Because Gabrielle says she's never been asked to a prom. But Troy says, I've never even been to a dance before. Well, what is this then? Explain to me what this picture is if this is not at a dance of some sort, whether it be homecoming or prom. It could be either, I guess, but Sharpay or Gabriella doesn't really show up until after homecoming would have happened, because she shows up in the new year, and homecoming is usually before the new year, at least in my high school experience it was. So, because it's usually like during football season, so that could be homecoming, but I highly doubt it. It's got to be some sort of, maybe like a Sadie Hawkins dance. It could be, it's some sort of dance. But I'm assuming it's prom. And yet, Troy says he's never even been to a dance before. Then why do you have this picture and it looks like it's a dance? Make it make sense, please. So Troy is okay with, like, what looks to be a whole croissant or some sort of bread product, and maybe a 1 or 2 egg omelet with nothing else in it. Just straight up eggs. Maybe there's a little bit of cheese. That's what you're okay with for breakfast? That is kind of crazy. The fact that he's okay with that. I guess it's better than, like, an only bread sandwich that he was eating earlier during the high school days. So, I guess, who am I to judge? At least he's showing growth. Oh, here we go. Troy's entering his sad boy era. Ooh. Where did those golf clubs come from? Are they just out there? Somebody just leave their golf clubs out on the course? Or did Troy... I didn't see him. He didn't walk up with any golf clubs. Where did they come from? That puppet lady really needs some therapy. Like, seriously needs some therapy.
I do the show if the Wildcats do the show. And I'd think fast.
I just sort of wish you're doing this for me.
Why can't Sharpay just see that Troy doesn't like her like that? Why can't she just see that? He's shown it for a whole year now. A whole school year. And now into the summer. He's shown that he doesn't like her. Like, I understand that she's persistent and she's stubborn and she thinks, "Oh, I'm Sharpay. Why of course Troy would like me." It makes sense. But he's clearly shown over multiple different occasions that he just doesn't like her like that. He likes her as a friend, kind of. But he's shown multiple different times that he just doesn't like her like that. And yet she still just is like, it doesn't make sense. She loses her character growth. That is cold-blooded by Ryan. Absolutely cold-blooded. Jeez.
Every day of our lives,
Wanna find you there, wanna hold on tight.
How does Gabriella have the necklace? She has not seen Troy since she got in her mom's car and left until when she gave it back to him during Gotta Go My Own Way. So the only theory that I have is that Troy had some sort of conversation with Chad, told him what was going on, told him that Gabriella left, and gave him the necklace so that Chad would give the necklace to Taylor, because Taylor's the only one who would have any sort of contact with Gabriella outside of Troy. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that Taylor got the necklace from Chad, and then Taylor gives the necklace back to Gabriella. That's the only way it makes sense. Because other than that, how they haven't had a conversation. Troy and Gabriella have not had a conversation since she left. So, or haven't even been face to face. So how in the world would she have the necklace if that's not the theory? If that's not how it goes? So if that's not true, then I quit, because I can't handle the inconsistencies. I find it really funny how Gabriella comes out and starts singing with Troy, and all of these people in the crowd at the tables, except for, like, obviously Troy's parents and maybe Sharpay's parents, maybe everybody else except for them would have absolutely no idea who this random girl is and why she's singing and why Troy's so happy, because they would have no idea who she is. Like, I'm assuming they're just like run-of-the-mill patrons of Lava Springs. They go here, they're family members of the people who have memberships here or whatever. They don't know the drama of this high school kid. They don't know the love life, so they wouldn't know who this random girl is. So I think it's funny that they just have to accept it. They're expecting Troy and Sharpay to sing together. They don't know that something's changed. So they're expecting Troy and Sharpay to sing together, and then this random girl comes out and starts singing, and Troy's happy about it. Like, they'd be so confused. I just want to be, like, in their brain and hear what they have what they're thinking to themselves. Like, who's this girl? Why is she singing? Like, are we supposed to care about? Like, I just think that's super funny that they would have no idea who this girl is. They're like, where's Sharpay? We're supposed to be hearing Sharpay. How does Sharpay know the words to Every Day? She literally says earlier that she didn't learn a new song. So how would she know the lines? How would she know the words? Now, I understand, to be fair, Every Day is a very easy song because it's the same words over and over and over and over again. So it's understandable that she could learn it very quickly on the spot, like while she's out there listening, and just pick up on it and sing along. That's understandable. Like, I can get behind that. But in theory, she shouldn't know any of the words because she didn't learn the new song. Only the Wildcats knew, and then obviously Troy and Gabriella, because Troy learned the song. So, and Ryan, obviously. So Sharpay's the only one in this whole group that shouldn't know the song, and yet she's up there singing. The Star Dazzler award actually breaks when Ryan goes around to hug Sharpay, but then the very next scene, it's back. And it's working. I just always find it funny because Kelsey, the actor who plays Kelsey, she reacts to it and she's like, oh, like because nobody was expected to break. But I did hear that there's like problems with the trophy while they were on set. It kept falling apart for some reason. Like, they couldn't keep it together. I don't know what the problem was, but they could never like keep the Star Dazzler trophy together. It always would break. So I just find it funny that it actually broke while they were on camera, and they just kept it in, and then they just immediately cut, and then they cut back. It's fully fixed again. I just think that's really funny.
When you dream, there's a chance you'll find a little laughter or happy hour.
See, this is what I mean. Why are Zeke and Sharpay together again? She literally has not shown any interest in Zeke the entire movie, the entire time. And now, the last time she showed interest was at the end of the first movie, when after the state championship game, when she comes back, he's in the gym, and she comes back and says those cookies were amazing, and she chases him off. After since that, even in this movie, she says, like, she tells him to go away or whatever. Like, he tries to advance on her and make a move, but she says no. So why in the world are they standing next to each other right here? Why are they, like, close? Why are they because these are all the couples. So why are they a couple? There's no reason. This is what I keep talking about. Sharpay has no character development. Well, she does, but it gets evaporated by the end of the movie. Start for the next movie. She was literally all aboard the Troy train for the entire time, and now she's with Zeke at the end because she finally accepted that she wasn't going to have Troy. But in the next movie, she's going to be the exact same thing. I can't handle it. Now we're even closer? Yeah, okay. Sure, Taylor. Sure. Quick little Miley Cyrus cameo. Pretty cool. Oh, she jumps in the pool again? Are you kidding me, Gabriella? I cannot figure you out, girl. You are so inconsistent. You are maybe the most inconsistent part of this entire thing. You even had a beautiful dress on, like a beautiful little sundress on, and you jump in the pool now while you didn't want to jump in the pool earlier to save Sharpay when you were in a literal bathing suit? I cannot figure you out!
Let's go!
Okay, so we need to talk right off the bat about the continuity of these state title games. Last year, they were held right before the winter musical callbacks. They were held at the same time. Well, they were only held at the same time because Sharpay told Miss Darbus to reschedule the callbacks to the same day. They would have been held like a couple of days prior, I think, or a couple of days. The game would have been a couple days before. So, but it was in that general time span of winter musical callbacks. And now, all of a sudden, they're in the same time frame as graduation? Now, obviously, there could be some huge time jump. I've had my theories in the past about this third movie being some massive time jump in between the state title game, and then the actual musical, and then the graduation. Like, this whole movie takes place over the course of their entire senior year, which is what I kind of think is what the problem is, or what the scenario is. It's not like condensed like the first two movies are, where movie 2 takes place during the entire summer, and movie 1 takes place during after the new year. So, and then to their graduation, obviously, or to the end of the year. So, I'm assuming that this movie takes place over the course of their entire senior year. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe the state title game is still taking place during winter musical season, and then the next time we get, like, when we jump forward again, and it goes towards the musical and getting ready for that, and then it gets towards graduation, and then that's the end of the movie. That's most likely the scenario. But if it's not, then Mr. Ortega, we need to have some talks, because you're jumping around like crazy and you're being super inconsistent with the timeline. I need to know what the exact timeline is. That's all I'm saying. I need to know what the exact timeline. I think I know what it is. I think it is encompassing the entire senior year, because obviously the movie is titled High School Musical 3 Senior Year. So I'm assuming that the whole timeline of this third movie is the entirety of senior year, from August or whenever they start school all the way to May when they graduate, or June, whenever their graduation, it may be April, May, June, whatever it is. I'm assuming it's encompassing that entire year, but it's never specifically stated in the movie that it's the entire year. That's why I don't know. But I'm going to go with my theory that it is the entire year, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. And I don't want to pull my hair out in the first clip because the continuity doesn't make sense if it's not my theory. So we're going to stick with that theory, and that's how we're going to rock. Okay? We all agree? Good. My boy Richards, I got to respect him. My boy is committed to that wildcat paw shaved in the back of his head. You got to respect it. He's committed to the grind. He's committed to the team. I wouldn't wear a wildcat paw the shaved in the back of my head, but I got to respect the grind for Richards.
All right. Hey, guys. You heard Coach. We're all going to remember the next 16 minutes for a long time after we leave East High. So it's now or never.
Great speech, Troy. That's really going to rile up the team. It's now or never. You didn't even show any emotion. Come on, Troy. You got it. Like you're down in this state title game. You've got 16 minutes to go in your high school season, in your high school career as a Wildcat basketball player. And that's the emotion you're showing in the speech. I understand that you're the captain. You don't want to put too much emotion out there because like you don't want to get emotion. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. But like you're literally the team cap. You're literally the best player on the planet, and that's the emotion that you're showing. Great speech, Troy. Great speech. This just proves that they can only sing, or they can only win when they sing. It's literally all this proves. They can only win if they start singing. Why weren't they singing in the first half? All you got to do is sing in the first half. You're going to win by 50. But you needed the drama. You needed to have the drama of being down in the game in the second half. So you didn't sing. You could have. That's literally your superpower. All you have to do is sing, and you're going to win basketball games. You should have just done that from the beginning. We wouldn't even have this scenario. Troy is totally not okay, but whatever. Look at that face. Look at that face. Troy is absolutely 100% not okay. He might have a concussion. He could have some sort of like internal injury, maybe strain something. Like he is not okay. This man is on a different planet. He is totally not okay. I know there's a lot of controversy over Matt Prokop because of what he did to I forget her actual name. The Modern Family girl. I apologize if I'm blanking on her actual name. I think he like abused her or something, and like obviously he's not a great human being, but he is very funny in this movie. So I do acknowledge he's not the greatest human being, but when he was acting in this movie, he was very funny.
How you doing, girl?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, great comeback.
Thanks. Whoa, watch that tail, man. It's dangerous. You know it.
Hello. Watch that tail, man. It's dangerous. You know it? Okay, Ryan. Okay. Why are you still wearing the bottom half of my Wildcat outfit anyway? Only the second girl? Honestly, I would have guessed a lot more than that. I mean, look at that man. Look at that man right there. And he's only had 2 girls up there, and one was his mom. I mean, come on. That's a total lie. We know the truth, Troy. Just tell it. I know you like. You want to play it cool? Like, oh, you're only the second girl I've ever had up here, and the first was my mom. But no, we know you had plenty of girls up here. Or maybe he's being super smart. Maybe he's saying, oh, yeah, I've only had one other girl up here, and it was my mom, because all the other girls were not, we didn't take them to the treehouse. I don't know, they were straight to the bedroom. I don't know. That's what I would do. But I don't look as good as Troy, that's for sure.
You know, my mom and I have been talking about Stanford University pretty much since I was born.
Man, you're already in. That's so cool.
Except she won't stop talking about it. It's embarrassing.
Come on, she's proud of you.
I'm sorry, Gabriella. She's a proud parent. Her daughter, her only daughter, is so smart that she gets to go to Stanford, one of the best, like, schools in the country for academics, and you're embarrassed because she's talking to Troy's mom and Chad's mom, presumably her friends. Like, you never see her do anything outside of a few appearances earlier where, like, she doesn't have any contact with any other parents. And now you're embarrassed because she won't stop talking about how you got into Stanford, a prestigious school. Jeez. Man, Gabriella, maybe you're the villain. I've had some pretty attractive people that I went to high school with. I knew some pretty attractive people. Not like my whole high school wasn't like filled with attractive people. There was a few attractive people in my high school, both men and women. But I never had anybody so attractive that when they walked into the high school, there were people just like partying the seas for them, or somebody fainting, like falling down to the ground, sliding down the wall like that man was right there. I like, she's on another level. Sharpay is on another level of attractiveness and just aura, that she's got this just vibe that she's not to be messed with, and two, she's just so attractive and just got this crazy aura around her that everybody takes notice. It's crazy. Like, I've never been a part of something like that. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Hey, Troy. So, when's the big game?
Yesterday.
Oh, well, good luck.
Oh, here we go again. She's back at it again. I can't with you, Sharpay. I can't with you. It's every single time. Oh, I can't handle it. Oh, I can't handle it. She's back at it again. How does she get that second locker? Does she, like, pay off the person that happened to be next to her? Or did she, like, go to the principal and ask for 2 lockers? Did she do it herself and not tell anybody? Did she paint it? There's no way she painted it herself. That's a custom paint job. There's no way she did it herself. Where's the person? What happened to the person that had that locker? Because previously, last year, she had 1 locker. So now all of a sudden she's a senior, she gets 2 lockers, and everybody else gets 1? With a custom paint job? And a custom Sharpay Evans font or script on top of the lock? Like, what? Where's she? Like, how did this happen? I need to know the details. What happened to the person next to her, the original owner of that locker? Did she customize it herself? Because when she opens the doors, it's 1 locker. It just happens to be 2 doors. So did she take out the separator in between the other 2 lockers? Like, what happened? How did she do this? Is she just like secretly super handy and we just don't know? I need to know the details.
What are you? I mean, who are you?
Good morning, Miss Evans. I'm Tiara Gold.
Tiara Gold. Pretty good name. Pretty good name, especially if you're going to be an assistant to Sharpay Evans. Your name needs to be Tiara Gold. That fits. I like it. If you own any orange, get rid of it. I like that she says that here, because in High School Musical, the musical, the series, Courtney, obviously, season 4, Courtney gets cast as Sharpay. And during their read-through, in the episode where we get Can I Have This Dance Between Ricky and Gina, in that read-through, her outfit is completely orange. She's got an orange hat, she's got an orange jacket, and she's got an orange skirt. She might even have like an orange, like, carry-on, like a purse or like a pocketbook, whatever they're called. And I'm pretty sure she has like orange heels on. I just think it's funny that Sharpay says that in here, and then they go and they make Courtney wear all orange. I think that's pretty funny.
Questions?
Yeah. What's the lunch special in the cafeteria today?
New York Deli.
Anyone else?
Ooh. She had a comeback for her. I respect it. True and utter panic in Kelsey's eyes when Sharpay even mentions the idea of a one-woman show. Absolute terror, panic, concern that she has to scribble down everybody's name in the homeroom just so that there's no way Sharpay can do her one-woman show. That is true Hater of the Year award territory. Like, Kelsey hates Sharpay so much that she's willing to rob her of a one-woman show because she hates her that much. That is, I respect the hatred. I like it. I like where your head's at, Kelsey.
Yeah, nice, guys. That's pretty funny. So, who's the big comedian?
Is there something wrong?
Yeah, I didn't apply. I've never heard of Juilliard.
How have you never heard of Juilliard? Even I've heard of Juilliard. I heard of Juilliard before I watched this movie. Like, I know what Juilliard is. Troy, why you gotta be so dense? Why you gotta be so dense sometimes? Just use your brain. You know what Juilliard is. You've heard of that. You're not just some basketball just jock that doesn't care about anything else. You know what you've heard of it before, Troy. Everybody's heard of it. It's Juilliard. I want to point something out real quickly. It's a little thing. It's just kind of funny to me. So when Miss Darbus initially asked Taylor what her future is, she has her right arm, or she has her left arm up to her face. Then it cuts to Taylor. She says that she's going to be the president of the United States. And it cuts to Miss Darbus, and her right arm is then up to her face. And then it cuts back to Taylor, but it cuts back to like a wide shot, and you can see Miss Darbus in the back. And her left arm is back up. So it like switches the arm. I think it's kind of funny. It's got to be like different takes, I would think. But I just think it's funny. It's a little thing. It doesn't matter at all. I think it's funny that it's left arm, left arm in 3 different scenes. It's like back to back to back. It's just pretty funny.
Mr. Bolton, your future.
Oh, yeah, you know, thinking about...
I think we should stage the perfect prom.
Man, Gabriella really let her man just absolutely sink before she stepped in. Like, she was waiting for like a solid 30, 45 seconds. Just waiting to see what he would say. He said nothing, and she was just like, you could have read the room. You could have anticipated that he wasn't going to say anything, felt his confusion and like he didn't know what to think because now he's got Juilliard on his mind instead of just U of A. So yeah, like if you were an intuitive girlfriend, you would have like stepped in maybe 20, 25 seconds earlier and been like, I know you're kind of sinking right now. I'll save you so you can swim and not just completely sink to the bottom of the depths. Like, she could have stepped in a little bit earlier, but no, she let him flail out there for an uncomfortable amount of time before she decided to step in and talk about being whatever she is, lawyer or whatever. What kind of pull does Sharpay have at this school, man? She gets the double locker. She gets her own meal prepared every day at lunch. Like, what kind of pull does I know her parents are super rich. I understand that. They probably donate some money to the high school, but like, what kind of pull does she have? She gets all this crazy stuff. She gets her own parking spot in the parking lot. Like, what are we talking about? She got some crazy pull at this school. It's wild.
They're deceitful, ambitious, and ruthless.
So is Sharpay just not going to eat? She waves off Tiara like she doesn't want to. She's not hungry, so she's just not going to eat then? She's just going to starve the whole day? Like, you're not hungry at all, Sharpay? You've gone through the entire day. I know that when I was in high school, I was starving by lunchtime. Like, you get there at like 7 o'clock in the morning, or 7:30, 7:45, whenever people got there, and then you don't eat till like 12. Like, I was hungry. I was hungry by lunchtime. So I don't get how Sharpay could just wave off Tiara Gold like, oh, I'm not hungry. Go away. Take the tray. Like, what? What are we talking about, Sharpay? Eat some food. You need it. You need to eat every day. You're hungry. I know you are. I don't understand it. The pose that they finish with, Sharpay and Ryan, at the end, like in the dream sequence, is not the same pose when they fade back to reality, as you can see here. Different poses. But just wanted to point it out. I think it's funny. I think it's kind of funny that they shift their poses, but that's okay. They're performers. They're allowed to change.
So you make certain we get those songs.
How?
Polish her glasses, buy her some ruby slippers, take her to prom. I don't know. Just do it.
Stop trying to push this straight Ryan agenda. Stop it. Just let him be who he is. We know he's not straight. He's pretty clearly shown that through these first 3 movies. Stop trying to shove it down our throats that he is straight. He doesn't need to be with Kelsey. It's an unnecessary storyline. It's an unnecessary relationship beat. We don't need it. Kelsey and Jason are more compatible in terms of they've been on screen a little bit more together. Why do we need Ryan and Kelsey? Just because they're the same kind of like person? They both like drama. They both like the arts. They both are musically gifted. We don't need this. They can be best friends. Ryan doesn't have to take her to prom just to get the song out of her. She clearly just wants to give the song to Troy and Gabriella because obviously those two are the leads pretty handedly. So stop trying to push the straight Ryan agenda. I can't handle it. That's another thing. I didn't even point this out. I never really even thought about it until just now. Gabriella like almost forces Troy to say that he wants to do the musical so that everybody else gets involved too. Because obviously they weren't going to do it if Troy wasn't going to do it. But the fact that Gabriella pretty much at that point, I'm assuming she kind of, if she didn't like in fact know for 100% certain she was going to get the honors program, the early enrollment thing, she pretty much had like a 95% good idea she was going to get that honors program. So she kind of pretty much knew that she wasn't going to be there for the play. She had this all in her mind when she did this. And yet she still says that they need to rob Sharpay of this one-woman show that probably would have been freaking fantastic. Just because it serves her selfish agenda. Gabriella, girl, you are really teetering that line between good and evil. And I think I'm starting to lean towards evil.
Well, I've never been asked to a prom, but this almost sounds like an invitation. This one.
I've never been to a dance, much less a prom.
Okay. This is going to be my first big rant of the movie. So, both Troy and Gabriella say they've never been to prom before. Gabriella says she's never been asked to a prom before. Troy says he's never even been to a dance before. How is this possible? This is an outrageous line to be said. Let's talk about this. So, Gabriella shows up in the very first movie. She shows up right after New Year's. So right as January starts of whatever year it is, she shows up to school so to finish out the rest of her junior year, and then obviously now she's in senior year. And then presumably her and Troy start dating soon after. I'm assuming sometime in, I don't know, maybe like April, maybe March, they started dating. Probably. Officially. They probably started dating pretty soon after she got there, like probably towards like February or something, but officially they started dating towards the very end of the school year. Then they go through the summer, they date, we saw that. We have that on film. That all happened. Now they get to senior year. They're obviously still dating. And then she says this. They both say that line. So, if I'm not mistaken, prom is in like April, May type of time, depending on what your school is, like depending on when your school schedules it. But it's usually in like late April and May for most high schools. So at the junior prom, unless Troy and Gabriella, unless East High doesn't do junior prom, which is all possible. That's very possible. I will point that out. East High not doing a junior prom is very possible. Maybe it's only for seniors. That's a very high likely possibility. I will keep that in mind. But that doesn't mean that homecoming is not possible, because you got to remember, Gabriella missed homecoming the first year because she comes after the new year, and homecoming would have already happened because homecoming kind of follows the football season. And since East High doesn't have at least You never really see them talk about their football team. They don't really. I wouldn't assume they had a football team, but you never know. I mean, they have like a track and like a football type of field. I don't know if maybe they play lacrosse on the field or so. I don't know. I don't think they have a true football team. But anyway, that's a different topic. So they would have presumably went to their senior homecoming, right? If this whole senior year is the whole movie is encompassing the entire senior year, they presumably would have went to homecoming. But crucially, in the second movie, when Troy's in his bedroom, we can see that picture. This is what I talked about in the second movie that I told you we would talk about again in this episode. Well, or this video. Here we are. We're talking about it. So in his bedroom, there is a picture framed on his nightstand next to his bed. It is a picture of Troy and Gabriella dressed to the nines underneath some sort of like arch, taking a picture. What I would presume to be a prom picture. At the least, it is a homecoming picture. Gabriella's in some very beautiful dress. Troy's in a tuxedo. And they're standing like you would take a prom picture. Troy's behind Gabriella with his hands around her waist, around her stomach, like a traditional prom picture would be taken. So that picture is already framed in his room in the summer. So they would have gone to prom that year prior, the junior year. They would have went to junior prom. How else would that picture have been taken? Because she wasn't there for homecoming. So the only dance that they would have been a part, unless there's like some sort of Sadie Hawkins dance, I guess that's a possibility. But I wouldn't count on that. It's got to be prom. It's got to be their junior prom. So that immediately just negates the entire line that Gabriella and Troy says. Gabriella has been asked to a prom before because Troy presumably would have asked her to that junior prom, and then Troy's been to a dance. He went to that dance. There's physical proof. There's proof of them at a dance. Now, they're not dancing because it's just a picture, but there is proof. So I don't understand why this line is in here. It doesn't make any sense. They had to have gone to a prom together or some sort of dance at the very least. Unless they just got like just super wild and crazy one night and got super drunk, wasted, and got all dressed up and went to West High's prom. Maybe that's what. Then technically they didn't remember it. So even though there's a picture framed on Troy, so he obviously would remember it fondly. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It melts my brain, the fact that they say this even though there is physical evidence to counteract what they've said. It doesn't make any sense. I'm tired of it. Make it make sense, please. It's all I ask. It is all I ask for, just some continuity to make it make sense. Don't have the picture on Troy's nightstand during the summer if then in the third movie you're going to have these two lines in there. If that picture wasn't on the thing, then it really wouldn't be that much of a thought. Like, oh, you'd probably like once over think about, hey, wouldn't they have gone to prom junior year? Like that thought would probably enter your mind maybe once for a fleeting moment, but you wouldn't really think about it because this movie's made for teenagers, like preteens and stuff. So they wouldn't really care, but that's a small detail that they wouldn't care about. But I'm a 25-year-old grown man watching this movie, and I think about those things because I'm crazy. I think about the details. And so it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Don't show that picture framed on Troy's desk or Troy's nightstand if then in the third movie you're just going to completely get rid of that picture like it never happened. And we'll get to some more weirdly taken pictures later in this movie, specifically with Gabriella. But I don't know, it's so frustrating that they have that in the second movie and then they completely just go the opposite way when talking about if they've ever been to a prom before, because they clearly have, or else there wouldn't be any physical evidence with a picture taken of them in beautiful dress and tuxedo taking a picture at a prom. It wouldn't happen. So just make it make sense, please. Troy and Gabriella get all wet while singing "Can I Have This Dance" on the roof. But the very next time we see Troy, he's all dry. Like, how long is the difference between that scene when they were on the roof, and now this scene where they steal Rocket Man's clothes, and another, I forget his name, I apologize, I forget the dude's name, where they steal his clothes. Like, is there a big time difference between that? Is this days after? Like, I don't know. I have no idea what the time difference is here. All I know is, I'm sure if I was Troy's friend, I would be having questions like, dude, why are you all wet? He was literally soaking wet from being in the rain. When he came, he probably would have presumably came down the stairs, walked through the hallway, soaking wet, probably came into the locker room to change, obviously, get a towel, dry off, do all that kind of stuff. But he walked through the hallway soaking. No teacher stepped out of their classroom and noticed Troy Bolton was all wet. Like, what happened? You're not curious? Did something happen to him? Like what? No, but nobody ever, like, we don't get any follow-up on, like, nobody's wondering why he's so wet and why Gabriella's so, she's got this beautiful dress on, this sundress, and nobody's wondering why she's soaking wet either? Does she go to the women's bathroom and dry off? Like, how did she stand underneath the little air dryer thing? You push the button to dry your hands. She stood underneath it and dried herself off. Like, what happened here? I need to know why everybody's okay with them coming downstairs from the roof back into the hallways and them being soaking wet. Like, no, was nobody wondering where they were? Nobody's wondering what's going on. Like, what? Just because they're seniors, they can do whatever they want. I guess. I guess. It's what happens. I'm the only one asking the real questions here.
Yearbook opportunity. Photo up.
Okay, so we're going to talk about both of these things at the same time. So, one, Troy and Chad leading those two boys through the entirety of the school, well, most of the school, in only their towels, is a wild prank. Now, to be fair, I will be truly honest. If I was in high school when this prank would have occurred, as long as it didn't happen to me, I would have been laughing. I probably would have thought it'd be pretty funny. But now that I'm not in high school and I'm a grown man, it's a little creepy. It's a little bit of a creepy prank. Those towels could have came down at any moment, especially in front of those girls that are playing volleyball, practicing volleyball. Then you would have had some serious problems. So that's one issue. The second issue is the two girls, Gabriella and Taylor, thinking that it's a good thing for a yearbook opportunity. You want to immortalize these two scarred kids forever? Every time they open that yearbook, they're going to see themselves in just a towel. In front of everybody. Everybody laughing at them. Talk about some drama. Talk about needing therapy. Like, come on. You're ruining these kids for the future. They're never going to be able to trust anybody ever again. They're never going to be able to look at themselves the same way because they got embarrassed in front of the whole school by these bully seniors who think it's funny to take their clothes and run them around the entirety of the school while they're only in their towels. Also a hazard because they're all wet. They could have slipped and broken something. That's also a possibility. They didn't even think about Troy and Chad being very, very disregarding of their safety. And then the girls go and embarrass them like that. If I would have had that situation, I would have been super embarrassed. That would have been told. Actually, you know what? I probably wouldn't even have chased them. I probably would have just been like, you took my, what? Come on, guy. Like, what? You're taking my clothes? Come on. Like, I probably would have just not chased them and then went to the principal or something. But that was just me. But yeah, that's a wild prank. First off, maybe even more wild that Gabriella and Taylor want to take a yearbook picture. Crazy, absolutely crazy. This is kind of off topic. I don't even have this in my notes. It's another thing that I just caught here that I want to point out. Does Coach Bolton, does he not help Troy anymore with the truck? He just, now that they got it running, he just completely passed it off. Like he doesn't have any. He wipes his hands clean of the truck. Like he's not helping Troy fix it at all. Troy's just got to build up enough money, earn enough money to buy the parts to help fix. Like his dad can't. I've seen the house they live in. His dad can afford it. He can't just help him out and buy him, like, what kind of parent is that? I know he understands. I understand that he wants him to do things for himself. He doesn't want to just keep giving Troy everything he needs. But I mean, this is the man's car. This is you know it's a piece of junk. And you said it when you were putting it together with the help fixing it with Troy. You said it was a piece of junk. And yet you clearly know that it's like falling apart. It doesn't. This a lot of the parts in the engine are not working. The fuel pump's busted. All that kind of stuff. And yet you just don't help him. You just sit back and relax in your big recliner, waiting for his car to break down. He could break down on the side of the road at any moment, and you don't care. As a parent, you don't care. You're not worried. I mean, come on, Coach Bolton. That's kind of crazy.
It isn't to you, but to my dad, to Chad. Yeah, it's a little hard.
Shouldn't it be?
You know, they're happy as long as we're all talking about U of A. You chose Stanford.
What do you mean she chose Stanford? She literally tells you when you're in the treehouse that Stanford's been chosen. They've been talking about Stanford before she was born. She says that Stanford's been chosen for me. We've been talking about Stanford since before I was born. Her and her mom. And so now Troy, listen. She didn't choose Stanford. Stanford's been the school, the plan the entire time since she was a kid, since she was a baby. So she didn't choose Stanford. Come on, Troy, you're smarter than that. Come on. True, that was a very, very bad invitation to ask Taylor to prom. I mean, I know Chad thinks he's cool, thinks he's slick. You got to be better than that. You got to at least show that you're interested a little bit. The girl, this is the girl's biggest like dream is to go to prom with their boyfriend and have a magical time. Every girl dreams about going to prom. Well, most girls dream about going and having a fantastic time at prom. It's like the most magical night of their entire senior year and all that kind of stuff. And then Chad just goes and says for prom. He's asking her without asking her. And Taylor, I respect it. She wants to be asked truly. Like, she wants a true invitation to prom with Chad. So do better, Chad.
Oh, it's lunchtime.
Does Rocket Man actually play the drums? Or does he just carry him around? Is it kind of like an aesthetic thing? Like, oh, I'm supposed to be this kind of... I got the long hair, the Bieber haircut. I got the beanie on. So... just adding the drumsticks is like part of his outfit, or does he actually like, is he good at playing the drum? Like, I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know. He just carries them around all the time. What is it with Sharpay's agenda to get this song? I know that she wanted to be the lead because she wanted it to be the one Sharpay one woman show or whatever. But she's just, her whole agenda is to get this song that Kelsey's gonna write for Sharpay or write for Gabriella and Troy. Why? Like, why? Just accept your role and be the best you can be at that role, which is gonna be like a secondary character. That's okay. You could be that. It's well established that Troy and Gabriella are the leads. That's pretty well established. So she just gotta accept it, but she just can't accept it for some reason.
The program starts in 2 weeks.
Okay, let's take a little bit look. Does anything look odd to you about Gabriella Montez, her page, her profile here on the Stanford website? She's graduating from East High in New Mexico. Her achievements: valedictorian, academic decathlon, always at the top of her class. And she was even at a mix of 4 different schools. She was at the top of her class. And then there's one thing that doesn't seem to fit now, does it? Right there at the bottom, it says, likes animals. What? Likes animals? First off, who doesn't like animals? Like, you're a weirdo if you don't like at least like animals. You don't have to own any animals, but to not like animals is just like psycho serial killer behavior. But that's not even the point. Everybody likes animals. The point that I have, the point of concern that I have with this is, why is it on her list of like achievements and accolades and all this kind of stuff in her bio for Stanford? Why would it be on her bio? It doesn't help her stand out. Everybody likes animals. It's not even like a specific animal. Like she likes dolphins, or she likes kangaroos or peacocks, or whatever the animal may be. It doesn't, like, it's such a broad thing to say. Like, that doesn't help you stand out. Did she type this? Did somebody type it for? Did Stanford type this? Like, what? Likes animals is so broad. It's not even a specific animal. It's crazy that they would put this on Gabriella's bio. Like, you couldn't have thought of anything else. Like, I don't know, dating the star 2-time basketball state champion would probably fit better. It'd be more appropriate on this bio than likes animals. Come on. What is this? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody likes animals. At least you could have given a specific animal. Like, she likes pandas, or she likes, I don't know, something exotic. Like, she likes parrots, or something out of the ordinary that people that oh, that's kind of curious. I wonder why she likes that animal. Like, it gets you thinking. Like, it's a specific animal that not many people would like. Like, you could have put a random animal. You could even have put dogs or cats or something in there. Like, you didn't have to just put likes in. It's such a random thing to have in there. It kills me every time I see it, because it's just like, what are we doing here? Why is it so broad? Why is it not specific at all? It's crazy. You know, Troy climbing over Miss Darvis during just rehearsals is so unnecessary. Like, it's so over the top. It's so extra from Troy. There's no reason he needed to do this. You know, there's a saying in the theater world: save it for the show. Like, you don't need to do everything in rehearsals. You got to be spontaneous. Think of it like, not everything, obviously. Obviously, you want to have everything. You want to have most of the important stuff, like, nailed down in your performance. But if you want to toss out some flair during the live performance, then that's encouraged. Just toss out a little flair if that's your personality. But Troy doing this during rehearsals, climbing over the seats and including over top of Miss Darvis, his teacher, is so unnecessary from Troy. He absolutely does not need to do this. He could have climbed over any other chair that wasn't Miss Darvis. He could have climbed over no chairs. But the climbing over the chairs is totally unnecessary. It's just, I think, you know what it is? I think it's a power move. Troy is asserting his dominance over Miss Darvis because he is the alpha male. I think that's what it is. That's the only explanation I can think of.
Did you get a copy of that song from Kelsey?
No, but I'm taking her to prom.
Brilliant. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Now get me that duet.
Sharpay, you are not Gabriella.
Don't be so sure.
I would almost accept Sharpay's constant pining for Troy over her trying so hard to get this stinking song from Kelsey so that she can replace Gabriella in the show. Almost. It's just so annoying that Sharpay is just, like, this is her one singular focus, is to get this song so that she, in her mind, can, like, replace Gabriella for some reason and sing with Troy, or, like, I don't know, what's her end goal here? If Ryan does end up getting her the song, they're going to transpose it into her key, and then she's going to sing the song with Troy, or is she going to sing the song, she's going to sing both parts by herself? Like, what's her end goal here? I don't even know. So why does she want the song so bad? I think it's funny that Troy and Chad come to this junkyard so often that Mr. Riley feels comfortable leaving his place of business in the hands of these kids. Like he's got to take off, so lock up when you're done. Like I like that he trusts these two so much that he can leave his place of work. And presumably, he has that other worker, because that other worker, like Bobby, I think his name was, he opens the gate for him. So where does he go? Why doesn't Mr. Riley just trust Bobby with he pays that guy? He should be able to close up the shop, right? He should be able to close up the junkyard. But no, he trusts these two teenagers with closing up his place of business. It's kind of wild if you think about it. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure the shirt that Troy and Chad are using right here in the beginning of the Boys Are Back song is the same one that Troy wears during the summer when he tells Sharpay that he's not going to sing. Not going to sing with her at Lava Springs. It could be just some random shirt that Troy just has, because I'm sure he gets a lot of t-shirts, East High t-shirts, from being on the basketball team and stuff. That makes sense. But it kind of looks like that same shirt. It could very well be. And now he just uses it as some sort of like dirty rag that he wipes his hands with after he gets done fixing his car. That's all possible. Plenty of people do that. They use old shirts like that. But I don't know. It looks similar. So I just thought that could be. It very well could not be. It could just be another random shirt. But I don't know. It looks like it. I do want to point out, it got really dark while they're singing this song. The sun had to have been just getting ready to go down while they're here, because if not, they were here for a long time at this junkyard. It just weird that it's just immediately like super, super dark all of a sudden. Like the sun had to have been just like ready to go down, just right there on the sunset, right ready to cross the threshold between you can see it and now it's dark. Like it's got to be. Otherwise, they were here forever.
It's obvious that you're not thinking clearly because you're thinking about Troy. I mean, I get it that he's your first crush, but... I'm sorry.
I don't see why Taylor's in the wrong here. Gabriella is completely crazy for choosing Troy over an amazing opportunity at Stanford. Yeah, I guess she could have maybe said it a little bit better than he's your first crush. Like being so blatantly like disrespectful. Not disrespectful, but like phrasing it that way. She could have said it a little bit better than that. But they're supposed to be best friends, right? Like they're supposed to be two peas in a pod. They're supposed to be best friends. Shouldn't a best friend be able to say this kind of stuff, be like truthfully honest with their best friend, with their other best friend? Like if you can't say this kind of thing to each other as best friends, then who can you say them to? Like who can tell somebody, like other than their parents, I guess? Who's going to give them brutal, honest truth other than a best friend? If you can't do that, then you're not really best friends. So Gabriella's being absolutely crazy about choosing to go to you, or possibly thinking about going to U of A for a year, skipping out on this unbelievable opportunity that rarely anybody ever gets. Like such a select few people get the opportunity to go to this early enrollment Stanford freshman honors program or whatever it's called. And she got chosen for that. She's like one of the special few. And she gets to go to this. And she's thinking that, I'm just going to skip out on that opportunity and go next year to Stanford after I'm ready, after I take classes at U of A for a year. Like, come on, Gabriella. Just because Troy is going to be here? Like, I get it's a high school like romance, a high school relationship, but like you're gonna be fine. There's this little thing called phones. There's this little thing called cars. You can see each other. You're 1,000 miles away. Yeah, you're going to Stanford, California. Troy's going to be in U of A in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's a distance. It is a decent distance, but it's a drivable distance. As we will see later on, it is a drivable distance. So, like, why? I just don't understand her reasoning behind this. It's shocking to me that she's even considering not doing the Stanford freshman honors program to stay in Albuquerque and take classes at U of A just to be closer to Troy, so they don't have to quote unquote break up. Even though there's no reason they should ever like have to break up. They can both do their thing and still be together. It's possible. It's like Taylor's not the victim or not the villain here. Taylor may have been the villain during the summer, but she is not the villain now. It's crazy. Gabriella, I don't know what you're thinking.
Te quiero con toda mi alma.
I love you too, Mom.
I actually looked that up because I didn't know. I always was curious of what that phrase meant, because I don't speak Spanish, if you didn't know. So I didn't know what it meant, and so I looked it up. And when Gabriella's mom says "te quiero con todo mi alma," I apologize for the brutal pronunciation of those words. It actually means "I love you with all my soul." That's pretty sweet. I like that. I like that's a nice little sentence to throw in there, and I feel like it has more impact spoken in Spanish instead of if she would have just like spoken in English. So I like that they did that. That's a nice little touch. Man, Troy is getting real good at climbing that tree to Gabriella's room. He's had a lot of practice, I can assume. He's had a lot of practice. He's getting real good. How did Gabriella manage to get those bowls and cups up to her room without her mom hearing? She was literally just a few seconds ago shushing Troy because he was like screaming, yelling that there was a pizza pie for her. So how in the world did she have those cups? She go downstairs super quietly. I'm assuming her mom was like sitting in the living room reading a book or something. So how does she get past her to the kitchen to get those bowls and those cups and those plates without her mom hearing, if she wanted to be so secretive? And there's another picture up there. Who took that picture? Gabriella's totally made up her mind already. She's clearly made up her mind that she's going to leave. And for some reason, she's just not telling Troy. Like, why are you not telling? You've clearly made up your mind already that you're going to go. I know you had that sequence right there where you said you were going to maybe take some classes at U of A and stay around. And then Troy said that you need to get your act together and do the right thing and go to Stanford. She already knows she's going to go to Stanford. So why are we beating around the bush here? Why are we not just directly telling our boyfriend what we're going to do with our future? She knows what she's going to do, and she's leading him on and not telling him fully. It's, Gabriella, this makes me just want to just yell at you. You're so inconsistent. Who took that picture of her and Troy standing on the golf course at Lava Springs? Who took that picture? They're obviously both in the frame, in the photo. They couldn't have taken it. Who took the picture? Freaking Fulton? Who took that picture? What is it with the inconsistencies of these pictures? Who took it? I need to know. You know, the audio for this little like transition here as they go to the next scene. Miss Darbus, you can hear her saying like, "All right, let's go. There's sets to be painted. Let's go to the next number." Like all that kind of stuff. You can hear her saying that, but when you actually like see her on screen, she's not saying those words. I just think it's funny that they chose that audio with this, like, to go over that scene. It's just, like, Miss Darby's clearly not saying those words. She's talking to students, or she's speaking directly to, like, one student or something. She's not like screaming to the whole auditorium or something. So like it's just a little thing that I like to point out.
Tell me about this Juilliard.
There's nothing to tell.
Well, maybe there is. I heard you talking to other schools. I mean, is this serious?
Yeah, U of A isn't the only school that's talked to me, Dad. You know that.
But it's the only school we talked about.
Coach Bolton needs to realize that it's good. It's a good thing that he has a son that is so talented that he's getting offers from multiple different schools, scholarships, full rides to all these different schools, to multiple different schools. But he's so like one-sided, one single-minded about U of A that he can't see. Like, you know how lucky Troy is? Some basketball players don't even get scholarships to a single school. They got to walk on if they want to play. But Troy is so talented that he gets offers from multiple different schools. And all his dad can think of is, well, why are you didn't tell me you were getting offers from multiple different schools? I thought, well, what about U of A? I thought that's the only school that we talked about. Like, just be happy that your son has options. Like, it's good to have options. He may still end up choosing U of A, but at least he's got options. At least he can have, like, he can sit down and he can think about what's the best situation for him in terms of his academic stuff, in terms of his wanting to maybe sing, in terms of actually playing basketball and getting to the league. Because I'm assuming that was the end goal. Him and Chad want to get to the NBA, you would think. So, like, it's good to have options. And it's just weird that his dad is so, like, frustrated and confused that he wasn't telling him. Like, maybe Troy should have told him that he was getting offers from other schools, because that's obvious. Like, and why wouldn't, is Troy snagging the mail? Like, would these offers not be coming into the mailbox to the house, and his dad would not be able to see? Like, how is Troy getting these offers without his dad knowing? That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, his dad should be thrilled that he's got options. He can make a informed decision on where he wants to go to school. But he's just so, like, single-minded about U of A. It's kind of crazy. See? It's the other door. So why didn't Miss Darbus use that door when she went to talk to Miss Bolton? When she went to talk to Coach Bolton. That door's clearly there. She could have easily used it, but she didn't. She wanted to go through the entirety of the boys' locker room because she wanted to see some potential teenage dong. Oh, and also, by the way, why is there an unlocked door to the school? Like, obviously, when you look through the door, there's another little hallway, but at some point, you're going to get to a door that leads to the outside that is unlocked. Or maybe Troy has a key that he got from his dad, because his dad's the coach. But first off, why is there an unlocked door in the school at night? That's the first thing, even if it is a side entrance. But secondly, if it wasn't unlocked and Troy has a key that he took from his dad, why did he get a key? How did he steal the key from his dad? Did he take it from his wallet or from his around his car keys or something? Like, what? Presumably, his dad, like, raced after him after he ran off the basketball court. So in this sequence, did he have time to grab his dad's key to the office, to the basketball office, or was there never a key involved and he just got there and what's going on? How did Troy get into this high school? It always frustrated me that Troy takes his jacket off that way. Why does he take it off? It's a zip-up jacket with a hood and then a t-shirt. But the jacket's not zipped up, it's unzipped. So there's no need to take it off like it's an actual hoodie. He doesn't need to be that dramatic and take off everything at once. You could take off the jacket, then take off your shirt to put your basketball uniform on. You don't have to rip everything off over the top of your head like you're wearing a freaking regular hoodie with no zipper. There was no need to be that dramatic, Troy. I know you're in your sad boy era, but you don't need to be that dramatic. That was totally unnecessary. Man, that morning janitor is going to be confused. When he gets there tomorrow morning and he looks up and he sees footprints on the ceiling, he's going to be absolutely, utterly confused. Weren't the lockers all cleared off with all the East High logos and all the lettering and all the stuff? Wasn't it cleaned off when they were doing walk away? He closed the locker and all of the lockers were cleaned off and the hallway was cleaned off and all that kind of stuff. It was empty. Like, there was nothing, because they're obviously ready for the end of the school year. but now all of a sudden everything's back, and we know this is Troy's locker area because this is the same hallway that Troy's been seen getting his stuff out of his locker. So this is obviously his locker area. But now all of a sudden the paraphernalia is back on the lockers? How? What? How? See, Troy, that's just vandalism. That's just unnecessary. There's no need for vandalism. The janitor's going to have a heck of a time trying to put that back up when he gets in. Man, I'd hate to be this morning janitor. Footprints on the ceiling. That big-time banner that you got hanging down in the cafeteria is just randomly not hanging up anymore. Kind of crazy. But there's no need. There's never any need for vandalism. Miss Darbish just creeping in the dark, watching Troy have a mental breakdown. I respect it.
We need to talk. I can't be a little adult right now, Troy. I'm hoping you understand that.
Yes, Gabriella. Yes, we do need to talk because this is going to be another rant. Are you ready? I'm ready. First off, what is it that you say right there? I can't be a little adult right now? Is that what she says? I can't be a little adult right now? I never... She says it so quickly, I never really got what she says right there. Even now, watching it back and hearing it like with headphones on, I think she says I can't be a little adult right now, but I still don't know. So if one of you guys in the comment section could help me out with that, what does she actually say right there? But anyway, what does that even mean? if that is what she said, what does that even mean? Secondly, the gall, the absolute cojones to break up with Troy over the phone is insane. Like, Gabriella, you knew that you felt this way, and you led him on for a few more weeks at least, while you decided you were going to go to the freshman honors program, and then you go to the freshman honors program, you go to Stanford, you leave him behind. You still, before Troy does Scream, his dad asks him if Gabriella's still coming down to prom. And Troy says, yeah. So Troy is still, at that point, was still living with the knowledge that you were going to come down, that you were going to follow the plan. The plan was to come down for graduation, come down for prom, and come down for the musical. All three of those things she was going to come back to Albuquerque for. But she knew the whole time, or at least most of the time, that she wasn't going to do it. And she still led him on and made him think that was all going to be okay. And then to break up with him over the phone, the audacity is insane. Thirdly, that was the plan. The plan was for you to come back for prom and graduation and then do the show. So I just don't understand why she's now changing her mind about all of this. Like, what changed? She doesn't want to. She doesn't think that she could go back, say goodbye multiple different times, and then like she doesn't think that she has it in her to say goodbye more than once. Come on, Gabriella. Like, what are we talking about here? Why are you changing the plan? The plan was for you to come back for all those different things. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to have to say goodbye to your friends each time you leave again, but you're an adult. That's what adults do. They make tough choices. Come on, Gabriella. Oh, my God. And then, lastly, I don't know. Your jean skirt looks stupid. I don't know. I'm frustrated with you, okay?
She's gonna miss the prom?
No, she's not coming back at all.
Wow.
Man, those late 2000s phones are durable. Chad's talk with Troy is wild if you think about it. He's basically, to sum it up, he's basically telling Troy that he's going to get with all these college girls when they go to college. You don't, the essence of what he's saying is you don't bring the girl with you after high school. You break up with your high school crush so that you can be free and go and date or not date and just get with a bunch of different girls in college. You want to live the college experience, the typical male college experience. And he says that he's going to do that with Taylor. Taylor's going to Yale, he says. So he's like, it's just going to be you and me prowling the campus of U of A, looking for girls. That's basically what Troy, in the essence of what Chad is telling Troy here. That's the basic idea of what it is. And that's crazy. If you look closely, you can see Troy in the tree right now. That's kind of funny. How did nobody that was walking past this tree just happen to look up and see this random dude standing in a tree? You know how creepy that is? Like these other students that go to Stanford, they don't know this relationship. They don't know that Gabriella has some boyfriend from back in high school when she was in high school. They don't know about this. So these random students at Stanford just happen to walk past this tree. They don't notice this creepy dude standing in a tree on a college campus. And they didn't call the cops? That'd be my first thought. Like, hey, 911, there's a crazy student or there's some random creepo standing in one of our trees. Can you come arrest this man? Like, I don't know what intentions he has. Like, what's going on here? Nobody had that thought. Nobody noticed this guy in a tuxedo. Nonetheless, he's in an actual tuxedo. Like, this is not creepy to anybody else. Like, come on. How in the world did that junky truck make it from Albuquerque all the way to Stanford? I know that he did not take the highway. He would have blown up before he left New Mexico. That truck would have blown up before he left New Mexico if he would have gotten on the highway. There's no way that thing does more than 40 miles an hour. There is absolutely no way that Troy made it all the way here with that truck. That's the most unrealistic thing in this entire thing. That truck getting here. Come on, get out of here.
Promise tonight in Albuquerque. It's 1,000 miles away.
My prom is wherever you are.
That was pretty smooth, Troy. That was pretty smooth. So, can somebody explain what this little sequence is? Did they actually go to their prom, or is it just kind of like some sort of fantasy of what they would have looked like if they had gone to it? And I've never actually known, because obviously Gabriella says before they start dancing, she says that prom is tonight in Albuquerque, which is like 1,000 miles away. So obviously they couldn't have got back to prom. So there's no way that this can actually be the real prom. I'm assuming it's like interpreting what prom would have looked like if they actually went there instead of Gabriella going to Stanford early. I feel like that's what it is. I could be wrong, but I think I got it right. I think that this is kind of like some sort of imagining of what prom would look like, since we never get to see it otherwise. This is what prom would look like if Troy and Gabriella were there. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Whoa, easy now, you two. This is still Disney at the end of the day. You may now have a movie budget, but we're still in Disney. That's a little too hot for TV, if you ask me. I mean, they're going after each other.
I'm not the only one that changed when you came to East High. Kids that I used to just pass in the hallway. We're friends now. And we're supposed to be doing a show together.
I don't know, Troy. Maybe you should have been a better classmate. Maybe you shouldn't have to take some girl coming into your life for you to actually talk to people outside of the basketball team. Like maybe you could have been a better person and talk to these people. You didn't have to become friends with them. Like he said, like, now we're friends. Like, that's cool. Now you're friends. But you didn't have to be. You could have just said, like, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, hey, how you been? Like, you could do normal human interactions with other people that you come across in the hallways, instead of just being a loner who hangs out with just the basketball team and that's all you talk to. It didn't have to take some random girl showing up to change that for you. But hey, you do you, Troy. You do you.
Oh,
that? Is that your cologne or a toxic spill?
Oh, yeah. It's called Babe Magnet.
The original Throb. So, we're just not going to see callbacks? Like, I understand that it's a different type of play because this is about the seniors, but like the first movie told me that callbacks were just as important as the real play. We never even get to see the real freaking play in the first movie. And now we just skip the callbacks? I understand, like I said, I understand this play is totally different than the first one because this is about the actual kids. So there wouldn't really necessarily be a reason for the callbacks, but you established in the first movie that callbacks are just as important. We need to focus the entire thing on callbacks and not the actual freaking play. And then in this movie, you just tell me that, oh, callbacks, whatever, they're not that important. We're just going to go right to the play. Like, come on! I thought they were super important. What is happening? That crowd is way too hyped for the basketball team to come out onto the floor. I mean, I get it. They're back-to-back state champs and everything, but you got grown men jumping out of their seats cheering for them just to step out onto the stage for their part of the play. Like, what is... like? They're that excited? You're jumping out of your seat? I mean, okay. So did Ryan do I Want It All by himself? Or did he do it with Tiara? Because Tiara is playing Sharpay in the Sharpay role. So did Tiara come out and do I Want It All? Like, she's not there on stage with him now, but that lends me to believe that he just did it by himself. Even though I Want It All is supposed to be Sharpay's like song because she wants everything. She wants it all. She wants to have the fame and the fortune. She wants it all, obviously. So that's like her thing, not Ryan's really. So it's weird that Ryan would do it by himself. So even if Sharpay is now playing Gabriella, but they specifically said that Tiara is filling in for Sharpay as Sharpay. So wouldn't Sharpay be in this song as like Tiara would play Sharpay in the song? If it is, it's hilarious because seeing Tiara play Sharpay in this would be funny. But it's weird both ways. It's weird if Tiara is out there because, like, obviously she's not Sharpay. She's just playing Sharpay. And it's weird if she's not out there because then it's just Ryan by himself. But it doesn't. I Want It All doesn't fit Ryan's character. Ryan doesn't want it all. He just wants to go to Juilliard. That's all he wants. So, but Sharpay wants the fame and the fortune. She wants it all. So having her not out there feels weird.
We have to save something. And when I'm at the balcony, don't forget the special. You're always forgetting the special, okay?
Don't forget the special. You're always forgetting the special. What does that even mean? What's the special? Now I'm curious about what that is. What could she possibly talk about? Some sort of special, like, effects? Or, like, some sort of, like, sparkler firework? Not firework, but, like, some sort of, like, set piece that's gonna be part of her scene? Like, what's the special? Now I'm curious about what the special is. Like, why is this guy always forgetting the special? Like, what are we talking about? Is it her after dinner meal? Like, is that like you're forgetting the special, like the roast beef on rye? Like what are we talking about? What's the special? I need to know, Sharpay. Tell me what the special is.
Even if we're miles apart.
I haven't heard this much vamping since Bop to the Top. I know for a fact that Troy's truck is not making it back to the school in time for that musical. I can barely believe it made to Stanford in one piece. So now you're telling me he drove it all the way back to the school? And he made it in time for the second act of the play. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I totally believe that.
Toodles.
So that light switch only turns on and off the star on the Sharpay's door? That's weird. Presumably there's another light switch right next to it that turns off the lights of the actual room. But it's just weird. Wouldn't the light switch or wouldn't the on-off button for the star be like on the star? Like, how does that even work? How does the light switch turn off just the star? from that distance? Is it like, is there a wire? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Is there a wire that connects it from the light switch to the star? Like, is it Bluetooth enabled? Like, what's going on here? How does that even work? I'm not an electrician, so I don't know how that would work, but to me, to my feeble mind, it doesn't, the math ain't mathin' on how that would work. Why would Sharpay's parents be confused to see Tiara on stage? Shouldn't she have been playing Sharpay the whole night? In Night to Remember, and then obviously we talked about already in I Want It All, but I think we came to the conclusion that she wasn't a part of I Want It All for some reason, but she would have been in A Night to Remember playing the Sharpay role, because Sharpay would have been playing the Gabriella role, so she would have been dancing with Troy, so that means that Sharpay would have been dancing with Zeke, but then Tiara is playing Sharpay, so Tiara would have been dancing with Zeke. So wouldn't they have already been accustomed to seeing her on the stage? So why are they now just like looking at the program like, wait, isn't that supposed to be Sharpay on stage at this point? Isn't she supposed to be singing this song? Like, you should have known already that Sharpay was playing Gabriella. Maybe, I guess, because now they saw Troy and Gabriella back, they just kind of assumed that Sharpay would go back to playing her own character, her own role. And not seeing her on stage could, like, have thrown them off because, like, oh, why is she up there? Now that Troy and Gabriella back, she should be back playing herself. So maybe that's the reason? But other than that, I can't think of anything else why they'd be confused, because Tiara Gold should already have been playing Sharpay most of the show. So why would they be confused all the way? And this is the end of the play. Why are they confused now? What kind of budget does this school have? They can afford a lowering platform for Sharpay to come down from the ceiling, and they can also like afford to have a portion of the stage be like an elevator where you can go down and up on it. Like, what kind of budget does this drama department have at this school? How much money does this school make? They can afford to have great stuff for the basketball school. They can, or the basketball team. God, I sound weird with the basketball school. They can afford to. They are a basketball school technically, but they can afford to have like the finest equipment for the basketball team. They can afford to have all the stuff for the math decathlon stuff, and all the other clubs that they have, the yearbook. And yet they still have money in their budget to put on all this performance, like all this extra stuff for the drama club. Like, this school's making bank.
Miss Sharpay Evans, University of Albuquerque Performing Arts.
When did she make that decision? Did she, was that her backup? She was just going to go to University of Albuquerque, go to U of A for performing arts if she happened not to get to Juilliard? Because obviously once the Juilliard representatives left, they told Miss Darbus that Kelsey and Ryan were going to get the scholarships. So obviously she must have told Sharpay beforehand that she wasn't going to get the scholarship and it was going to go to Ryan. Because Kelsey and Ryan didn't know. They weren't told beforehand because their reactions on stage are genuine. So like they didn't know they were going to get the scholarships. But Sharpay obviously had a backup plan. She knew that she wasn't going to get the scholarship, so she must have already had that U of A plan as her secondary option that she told Miss Darbus to say if she somehow did get the scholarship, which she ends up not getting. But it just feels like, how did Sharpay know that she wasn't going to get it if Ryan and Kelsey didn't know? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
I've chosen basketball. But I've also chosen theater. The University of California, Berkeley, offers me both. That's where I'm going to be attending next fall.
When did Troy make his decision? Did he make it on the drive back from Stanford? Because the look on Gabriella's face clearly means that she didn't know that he chose Cal. So he obviously didn't tell her on the way back from Stanford. So he had to have done it at some point made his decision. And did he accept the scholarship offer? Like, did he sign his name, letter of intent? Like, what is the timeline on Troy accepting the scholarship to Cal, or going to Cal in general? Like, when did he make this decision? The whole time we've been seeing him be so, like, conflicted on where he's going to go. And now all of a sudden he knows he's going to go to Cal? And when did he have time to do all this? This could just be a random person, but the woman sitting next to Gabriella's mom, it feels like they casted her to be a relative of some sort. I wouldn't think like a sister or something, but maybe like a cousin, or maybe like, it feels like, I mean, they're framing it. They could have framed it the way this shot looks. They could have framed it so that the mom is in the center of the screen, but they framed it so that both her and this other woman are in the screen the same amount of space. So obviously that means that this person, like, is somewhat important to the family, because why would they have her in focus as much as her mom? It's the same shot with Sharpay and Ryan's parents. Both of them obviously are in the shot together because they're obviously both the parents. So I don't know if this is like some sort of, like, cousin. It can't be a sister, because Gabriella never mentions she has a sister. So it can't be like a sister. I think she's only an only child. So it's got to be some sort of, like, cousin, or maybe her friend, or maybe her mom's, maybe it's her mom's friend's kid. Like, I don't know. Or maybe it's just her mom's friend. I don't know, but like it seems like they put her intentionally next to her mom for some sort of storyline reason, and it looks like they casted her in a way that makes you think that she's got some sort of connection to Gabriella and her mom. She looks similar to both of them, so I don't know, maybe a cousin. I don't know. That's all I got.
Miss Gabriela Montez, Stanford University, pre-law.
It feels like the pre-law thing kind of came out of nowhere, doesn't it? Like, we've not heard her once talk about being or wanting to go to pre-law. Really ever, I don't think. We've never really heard her want to do that. All we really know about her is that she's super smart. She's like a super smart honor roll type of kid that's like a valedictorian, all that kind of stuff. But we've never really seen her intentions for pre-law. It just feels like it came out of, like, nowhere, that randomly she wants to go into be a law, or go into pre-law. I don't know, just to me it feels like out of left field that's her field of choice. I'm guessing that Chad leaves when he hears Troy make the decision to go to Cal, because obviously if he left before that he wouldn't know that Troy made the decision. So he probably left at some point after Troy did that, but he's in the very front row. So how did nobody see him leave? His parents didn't see him walk off stage and wonder where he's going? Miss Darbus didn't see him walk off stage and wonder where he's going? like nobody saw him leave? Like, he just got up at the front row and left? I don't know. It's weird. Okay, we got to stop right here, because I should have pointed this out earlier. That's my bad. But having Troy and Chad's jerseys hanging in the rafters before they've even graduated is insane. They haven't even technically graduated yet. I know the season's over, but they already have their jerseys hanging in the rafters. They're that important to the team. I know they're back-to-back state champs, which is awesome. That's something that not a lot of teams do. But the fact that they haven't even officially left the school yet, and the school already put their jerseys in the rafters, is crazy. I don't know if you guys can grasp how crazy that actually is. Like, for me, who's a big sports fan, that's insane.
It's a place where one person, if it's the right person, changes us all.
Why is Troy giving a speech? He's not a valedictorian. He's not a salutatorian. Certainly not. So just because he's a generational basketball talent means he gets to give a speech at graduation? I mean, I guess you probably could have given this speech to Gabriella and it would have hit the same, but I guess you give it to Troy because he's the star. What is the dress code for this graduation? It's certainly not like mandatory formal wear. There are shorts. There are just regular t-shirts. There's no black tie for most kids. There's no like dresses for the girls. Like, what is happening? Where did this come from? This non-traditional dress wear for graduation. Every graduation I've been to is always like formal wear, like ties, shirts and ties, and then like nice dresses or nice like pants and shirts for the girls. So like, what kind of hippie alternate reality am I in where we are wearing t-shirts and shorts like it's 1975 at the beach? Like, what's going on? Did Troy rip his shirt and tie off to unveil the red East High basketball t-shirt, or just t-shirt underneath? Or did he switch it at some point? Like, if he did switch it at some point, where did he go? Did he go to like a porta potty or something to switch his t-shirt during the dance break? How did he get this new shirt on? It almost looked like he like ripped his dress shirt and tie, ripped it off, or like ripped it back, I guess, and to reveal the t-shirt. I don't know, like, it was quick, but that's kind of what it looked. It also could have just been he like pushed his gown or his cap not his cap, his gown. He pushed his gown back to reveal the t-shirt. That's kind of what it looked like too. But if he didn't do that, if he just went off and changed it, like why not just stick in the regular dress shirt and tie? That was working for you. Why did you switch? Why not just wear and if you wanted to wear the red t-shirt, why not just wear that the whole time? Everybody else doesn't care about the dress code, so why can't you just wear that? I mean, Chad's wearing a freaking graphic tee. So just wear the red t-shirt if you want to wear the red t-shirt. Why do you have to wear the shirt and tie, and then all of a sudden you switch it halfway through to this red shirt? It doesn't make any sense. Where'd you go? Where'd you go to switch it? You just go off farther into the grass and just take your shirt off? Like, what happened? So if those kids that were on the stage to the left of the graduation podium and thing, if they aren't part of the band, then why are they up there? Because some of them are wearing like cap and gown stuff. So why are they up there if they're not part of the band? Maybe they're part of the choir, I guess? That could be a possibility. Because if they're just up there for no reason, then why aren't they just down on the grass level where all the other kids were? I'm assuming they probably got to be part of like some sort of singing group or singing choir that the school has. That's why they'd be up there. Other than that, I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't just be down down with the other kids that are graduating. The only other reason, I guess, would be because maybe those are the kids that nobody likes. They just put them up there. I don't know. They got to be part of the choir or something. So was it all just a musical the whole time? Huh. Kind of meta. Does anybody know what happened to this kid? This Stan Carrizosa? Carrizosa? I don't know how to say his name. But, I mean, he made it, right? He won this contest. He won the Get in the Picture winner. He was the winner of that. And he got his song in the movie. So he made it. He made it big. But like, I don't think there's ever been I don't think he's ever done anything after this. At least not to my knowledge. Maybe I'm wrong. But I've just never, like, it's just such a random thing. Like, he won this contest and then all of a sudden he just, like, doesn't do anything else. Like, this would be huge. If I won this contest back in the day and my song got put in the end of High School Musical 3, I'd be like over the moon. I'd want to capitalize on that tenfold and like do a bunch of stuff after that. Capitalize on the quote unquote fame that you could earn from this. But just like he doesn't do anything. Not that I know of. So I don't know. Is there anybody out there that like knows this guy or knows what he's done after this, if anything? I've always been curious about that. And that is going to do it for my 3 videos doing deep dives, pointing out all of the inconsistencies, funny moments, things that make me question what's going on here throughout all 3 of the High School Musical movies, the whole trilogy. Like I said in the intro portion, I'm probably going to compile all 3 of those videos into one just big video so that people who don't want to watch 3 separate videos can just watch the entire thing in one massive, long video and get the whole point. So be on the lookout for that on the channel. It's going to be coming out pretty soon once this video's gone live. And yeah, this has been super, super fun. I enjoyed doing these different style of videos. It really made me think differently about how I do videos on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the different style. I know it's not my normal style that I do where I react to something like live. This is like, I have a script. I don't usually have a script for any of my, like I don't script any of my videos ever on any of my channels, except for these videos that I started doing here because one, there are long movies to watch, and I needed to remember everything that I wanted to say, so I wrote them down in a script. It's not a true script, but I wrote down notes, basically, for basic points that I wanted to get across. And that's something that I don't usually do, or don't ever do, really, except for these 3 videos. And so it was definitely a different pace, a different style, a different feel, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it came across funny and you thought it was cool and you thought you enjoyed the style. And maybe if you did, maybe I'll do this with other movies or other series that I enjoy a lot that have a lot of inconsistencies. And remember, I'm doing this in the perspective of the universe that it's in. Obviously, I know that a lot of these things can be boiled down to, oh, the reason why Troy switched his outfit at the end of that dance number is because he switched it off screen. He went off screen. They did a wardrobe change. He comes back on screen. He's got something different. I understand that's the real reason why he switched the clothes. But when you do the perspective of how this would make sense in that universe, why would he go off screen? Why would he go out of the dance number to go change his clothes and then come back on? Like, why wouldn't he just stay in his original tie and shirt and tie? Or why wouldn't he just wear the red shirt the whole time? Like, those kind of things are the real core of these videos and not the real world reasons why these things could happen. Because all of these questions that I posed have real world answers that are very easy to explain, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for the in-universe explanations. Why these characters would do these things. Would it make sense? Most of the time not. That's why this whole video, or this whole series, came to be, is because there's a lot of that stuff in these 3 movies that in the world of High School Musical, Troy wouldn't do some of the things. Like, it doesn't make sense, the stuff that he does. Gabriella, it doesn't make sense, the stuff that she does. Taylor, Chad, goes on. So that's kind of the main reason why I wanted to do that. I thought that'd be pretty fun and interesting. And I've never really seen anybody do that style of video for these 3 movies. So I thought, hey, I'm a big High School Musical fan, so why not I do it? So here it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let me know if you want to see this style of video with any other movie franchise. Hopefully it is. If you do want to see it's with something that I am more familiar with, because I'm obviously super familiar with these movies and with the series as well. So maybe I'll do it with the series also, because that has a few inconsistencies that could frustrate me. So maybe we do that next. I don't know, but hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave it a like. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.